fun to watch for the moves. They're not hard to find. Strong arm tactics so loud, only themselves in mind. Every player has dreams of making ORCA fame. They'll live on in the minds of those who get in their way. ORCA's all say, don't come for me. Midler's boots, they're so vain. As we set up the podcast webcam, the pod is here to talk ORCA game. ORCA King CK with delusions of fame. In this LRG world, he's the apex predator. Dani and Jules in tow, always ready to go. Now it's time for the show. They're the apex predator.
Hello, sincerest apologies to Josh O'Brien, who I am yet to add to the ORCA video, even though I've had 2 months to prepare for this. So I'm very much apologizing to Josh O'Brien, but he's here in spirit, as I know everyone will be that is either in the comments or watching in the future. Welcome to the, I cannot get this video right. What about this one? Nope. What about this one? All right, we'll go with that. Welcome to the penultimate episode coverage, the penultimate season, the silver medalist, one from ultimate greatness, as voted by you, the people. And as we said, when I announced that Canberra was second, don't at me about this. It was a vote of the people. I didn't choose my season to be number one, which everyone has now worked out, I am sure. I didn't make that happen. It's just the people's choice. And we'll be covering that, and that's going to be an exciting time. But right now, we're here to cover the second best season, Canberra Season 2, the ultimate sacrifice. And joining me, as always, my two fabulous co-hosts. Let me bring in, I'm going to have to fix this. Let me bring in Dani. Welcome, Dani.
Hi, I'm so excited to be back. That music, our theme song, just made my body so happy. Yay. I've missed you guys.
Just keep talking while I mess around with this.
I'm like, did you miss me too, or what's been happening?
Someone's been messing around. Someone at the live reality games thing has been messing around with my settings, and I'm not.
I think it's been upgraded or something on the back end, so there's all new fancy features.
What do you want? My new hat. I think it's the ultimate hat refice.
Oh, ultimate hat refice. Interesting. I like the little feather. Where do we get that from?
I bought it at a beer and barbecue festival. I paid too much money for it, and I have limited opportunities to wear it. So why not the podcast?
The podcast is the perfect place.
I did not, of course, give everyone awareness that it was Special Hat Day, but so neither of you are hatted, neither Jules. No. We do both be happy wearing the same color. Let me welcome Jules.
No, we didn't even.
Took your time to bring me in. Like, hello, I was just chilling backstage while you guys talk amongst yourselves.
Sorry. Talk. I need to. You guys chat like
he's very annoying.
It's been that long that our settings have all changed.
Yes,
it has been. It's been far too long. Look, the last time we all saw each other was actually in Canberra. We got to do our first meet and greet.
I totally remember every minute of that night. I was definitely not completely wasted.
No, not at all wasted. We were very sober. We were very sensible and
very demure
behavior. But it was I'm so glad that we get to do Canberra on the back of that because we got to meet so many from this cast. Like we get to meet Soph in person, which was so lovely. She's just as beautiful as you would expect her to be. We got to meet potential new Canberrians from seasons coming, who I avoided on purpose because I didn't want any spoilers. I said hi and goodbye. I was like, I look forward to watching you. Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to know.
But it was big thank you to Canberra and everyone who joined us for our in-person meeting, live podcast, whatever we did. We didn't film it, but it was so nice to see everybody.
It's a special podcast for that reason, and a special podcast because this season, The Ultimate Sacrifice, is one of only two or 3 that we'd covered before we got into the rank down, and is the first season that was covered by the Orca Pod. It wasn't called the Orca Pod for about the first 3 or 4 episodes, but we got so excited by James Wolfe's behavior and confessionals that we named ourselves after him, and the show's name was Born. So it's a very special season. Looking forward to get into it. I talked about it thoroughly with Annabelle and Max over 2.5 years ago, but here we are to recap the second best season. Yes, you were also on an episode. That's where you were brought onto the podcast. It's a momentous time. But the question is, here is the question. You know, I've been watching it again, and it's been a bit of a tough slog to rewatch. I'm not saying it's a bad season. Certainly was very exciting at the time. But I think it's one of those sort of Redemption Island things where at the time it was great to watch because how is Ma doing this and just controlling everyone? It's unbelievable. But when you know the outcome, it's not very dynamic.
It's a very dominant game. And I think before I watched it the first time, I knew she'd won. But still watching it for the first time, I was kind of in awe of what she was doing. And then watching it again, I'm like, why didn't these people vote her out? Like, what? So it was a great win by her, but it kind of makes for a not great rewatch.
You say, Dani.
No, I think I think, again, we talk about the length of episodes and those sorts of things, and I think the length can kind of drag on a bit. And bless Dan, he doesn't love to give us a villain because he loves his community. But I did enjoy because I know the outcome this time, watching everyone's thoughts about what was happening in real time and being whereas at the time you think that's what, because you don't know what the outcome is. So it was a mixed bag for me watching it this time again.
I still think there's a third.
Dan doesn't like to make people villains. There are people on this cast who would have loved to be a villain and be edited as such.
Correct.
Our namesake, James Wolfe, one of them.
James Wolfe is edited as about as much of a villain as Dan's going to do, but I think all his content was basically that, so there's nothing you could do. Look, he edited him as villain. He could have left out the flog thing. There's stuff he could have left out. Wolfe is probably the one person that's been edited as a villain by Dan. And I think that if he didn't edit him like that, there was nothing to show. So he left him no choice. Nick could have been more of a villain. Malcolm could have been more of a villain. Those people were spared in the usual way. There's always the Banfield mystery, which has been left on the cutting room floor. We'll talk about that at that episode. Who knows what happened there? The secret villain that is Banfield. So there was I still think the season is a fascinating watch. I think it's got it's a really interesting season because it's really, I feel, old school in its gameplay.
Yes.
It's filled with a bazillion advantages, it's New Era. Now, they also get flushed at the same time, which gives you, we'll talk about the advantage getting. And that sort of makes that one episode, the New Era episode, with a bazillion advantages. So the rest of it is very, very old school. I feel first, 10 seasons of Survivor is the vibe.
No, I agree. I completely agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the no swap is probably a factor in that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a mistake. Let's talk about that conceptually. I think that's just a huge, huge mistake. You're already in LRGs going to run up against a bit of a first tribe alliance, even with a swap. It's almost natural that people go back to their original tribes to some extent because there was generally more time spent with them and more time where they're not intensely playing the game. Because you've been swapped, you're intensely playing the game because you're worried about your swap position. So the relationships you have that are real are from your first tribe. Take in no swap, there are no relationships.
Yep.
And I feel that a lot of the people here were actually doing a reasonably good job of building new relationships. And I think you see that, but there wasn't enough time to make that turn into anything real that affected a vote.
Yeah, because it was really interesting, particularly at the Ultimate Sacrifice, how willing people were to share information across tribes, those sorts of things. To see that then play into a swap and have two people who are ultimate sacrifice together and see if that could play out into anything would have been really fun to see.
Yeah, the only argument I can make for not having a swap is that players are going to expect a swap. So it is kind of funny to watch them make decisions around swapping. Like the whole reason Ma chooses the Steeler vote advantage is because of a potential swap. So that's the only pro, I guess, for not having a swap. But I think everything else outweighs it. And I think a swap is just, it's really important to give the people on the bottom a bit more of a chance.
Yeah.
Tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the only season of the 13 that we've covered, the 11 in the countdown and the two others that did not have any form of swap. I'm pretty sure it's the only one. Even Brisbane with a 10-person cast and a 7-person merge managed to fit in a swap.
Yeah, in one day. Yep.
And I think swaps are important. I don't mind the experiment without it. And, you know, the people think this is the second best season. So, you know, who are we to deny the views of the people? But after all, they said my season was the best. So the people were always right. But, you know.
People are huge fans of John and Ma, clearly.
Yeah, like obviously the key to making your season successful is to roll John and Ma out again, and everyone will come along for their success. If you're here live, show us your comments. We'd love to hear your opinions on Canberra, the ultimate sacrifice. Let's get into it because this always goes long. We'll be splitting up the episodes as we did previously, which I think was an effective tool to keep it fresh. So I have episode 1. It was a while I watched this. I thought the intro was really good, like the intro package. I think it was actually probably one of the better ones I've seen. I do think that the Perth backyard guys do that quite amazingly, but this one was very, very good. And then it gets caught in a bit of the trap that sometimes the editors get trapped in, where we need to, for some reason, learn something about frickin' everybody on the mat.
All at the same time.
Like, it's just endless. Like, I don't give it to me in confessionals where people, and people in confessionals are more real. People on the mat are saying safe things. That's boring. Like, and that's fair. Like, that's gameplay. It's rare to get on the mat and be bold. Like, you know, even on the real Survivor, that's rare. Like, it was a special thing where back in Ghost Island where Dom Abate, called out, what's his name, the rapper, Chris, I think, about like this guy's got to go. Like, no one does that, right? But it's amazing when it happens. But it's just not going to happen. All the conversation is safe. It's boring, and I don't feel like I get to know these people, and I feel like it just dragged on. I don't love that in the episode.
Yeah, and I'm fine with showing all that stuff, but it doesn't all need to be together in one package at the beginning of episode 1. You pepper it through the episode, and because ultimately Orange goes to Tribal this episode and Purple's going to go the next one. So over the course of the first 2 episodes, spread all those out. Get everyone covered in the first 2 episodes, but you don't need everyone at the beginning.
No.
100%. So what we did learn, though, in Confessional is that Grace planned to be evil and nasty, and frankly, I feel we were robbed. Look, no offense to Joe, but I think we would have got a more dynamic season if perhaps Joe had been voted out first and Grace, who was there to sow a bit of chaos, had survived a bit longer. Malcolm, we said everyone gets their bit. Apparently Malcolm and Mike, according to my notes, Michael and Malcolm get completely missed in this. Apparently they didn't have anything worth saying on the mat. Things that I noticed here, like I always think that how you dress, particularly, look, I don't know how much I thought about this before I played, but certainly I got a lot of comments about how I was dressed and how that people perceived me. And I was being a particular character, and so I dressed in a particular way. But I always think a lot of people make deliberate choices about what they wear going into Survivor. And I like Anna's Space Jam hat. Like, I think it's like so like nerdy and sort of quirky and interesting. Like, you can wear any sort of cap. But this sort of corduroy Space Jam thing is a choice, and I love it. I think people would look at the Space Jam girl. Like, I think it would attract people to you to want to talk to you, find out what you're about. I think that Banfield's jumper is a horrible choice.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. The only
good thing about it is purple.
It's the meme. I assume the joke is I've got your back, right? And the stick figure has grabbed the back.
Mhm.
And I don't know if he thought it was like a supportive thing, like I've got your back. But I feel like it's like I'm stabbing you in the back. I know it's not a stab.
I just thought it was a pun.
Yeah,
I thought he was like trying to make a talking point out of it.
Yeah, but I think the fact that the stick figure has taken the back implies to me some sort of nefarious move by the stick figure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's saying I've got your back, but really I'm taking your back.
Yeah, I think he wore it because it was purple, and ultimately you don't need your hoodie to be purple. You get your t-shirt is purple, and then you chuck a black jacket. Like everyone had a black jacket on over the top of their purple. Like
he didn't get it either. He said to Ma, well, he didn't get it. Fine, maybe I don't get it. But what I'm saying is there's multiple perceptions for Banfield's jumper. Mm-hmm. And Banfield says to Ma that he's a loyal person as per the jumper. But to me, the jumper doesn't convey loyalty. And maybe in his mind it does, but I think he needed to properly vet the myriad of perceptions that may have been had about the jumper. Live in the comments, if you have an opinion about Banfield's jumper, let us know. Does it convey loyalty or does it make him sus?
We like attention, people. Please comment.
Hello, there's 5 of you here.
It's not because no one's commented. I'm trying to be more interactive with the audience. So let us know if you have a view on Banfield's jumper. I'm talking about purple. We've got the Love Rocks quest. We all know why they do this. Any attempt you can have to break up the tribe at the beginning, get people moving in different groups is great. I don't particularly love the mechanics of all of this, but it works conceptually for its purpose.
Yeah. I don't love that they were all hidden together. I mean, we'll get to that when we start finding them. But I just, that was the issue I had with them.
Hi, Mel. We love you.
We love you, Mel.
It ended up being reasonably anticlimactic. And we can talk about it as they find the Love Rocks.
One tribe didn't find them, so, you know.
Well, didn't they? John said they did, but I think that was...
They didn't find the last one.
Useless. But they didn't show us finding any of them.
No, they showed us finding the first lot.
Okay, first lot.
I've got it in my notes.
But, you know, they announced the Love Rocks, and Grace, God bless Grace, should have stayed, just sprints off. Like, these Love Rocks are the most important thing I've ever heard. You know, it's 4 phases to get a mystery advantage, but man, I've got to get this thing. And when she gets there, she sort of I don't know why she sprints off in that direction. There was no guidance. And she gets there, and it's like, oh my God, everyone over there is talking, and I'm not there, and this may be a mistake.
Get back. Like, when you realize you made that mistake, go back. She kind of like doubles down a little bit. It's like, well, I'm here. I may as well like stick to it. No. Well, I don't know who says it, but it's like Grace took off like Usain Bolt. She did.
She really did. And we go to I like how early Michael and Banfield were such a pair. Like they were seen as a pair, and like, man, did Michael throw him under the bus when that didn't suit him anymore. We get to Orange. They've got Love Rocks. Anna's noted that James Wolf is into strategizing like right from the get-go. He's pulling together a coalition of Anna, John, and Joseph. Interesting that the early reads on Joseph was that he was someone to bring in. Later on, Joseph falls out of favor. But it's interesting that he's gathered up a group of people from, other than Joseph, from Melbourne. And I'll refer to that in a moment, about John being from Melbourne. Anna also, I believe, was from Victoria. I believe James and Anna knew each other in some capacity, not talked about on the show. And I don't think Wolf knew John, but I think he knew Anna. So anyway, he's grouping up these people. And Sam, meanwhile, is doing nothing. Sam, look, they really foreshadow who's going to get booted in these episodes because Sam is just chilling. She's not, and she gives us a big history lesson, I presume, on the park and the space launch. And it's a nice little history lesson, but she's really not engaging where she needs to be in these early relationships. The challenge, look, generally the challenges in this season, I don't think Canberra's special for a lot of things, particularly its emotional storytelling. The one thing it's particularly not great at is challenges. Like, why? I get that it's hard, but why are all the puzzles always so tiny? Why is everything like
Yeah.
a miniature version of like the game? It's like a tiny version.
Well, speaking of
you
Mel,
not-
who's listening, like he came on board for challenges in season 3, and I think we saw a big jump in the quality of the overall challenges between 2 and 3. But I agree, yeah, the puzzle pieces being like doing an actual jigsaw with the pieces are this big, it's probably cost effective. I'll give them that. But it doesn't make for great TV because you're like, I can't even tell who's winning. These are tiny.
No.
Don't get me wrong. Sydney 1 still has the worst challenges, but I just
Oh,
don't think
no one's going to compare to that.
I just don't think this is like this is a real step up on season 1 in a lot of ways.
It'll be the same thing when you see Sydney 2. Huge step up. Huge step up from Sydney 1 to 2.
But this whole season is quite a step up in a lot of ways in production. I just feel like they didn't really hit the challenges, and the tug of war. There's just too many rules going on with it. It's 1-on-1.
Yeah.
I think you need to get everyone in on once and have it go for 2 seconds. That's how you do it.
No, 1-on-1 was the better way to do it. Absolutely, it's a better version being 1-on-1.
I don't know about the circles. Too many shit going on.
I think the circles helps with like a bit. It makes you give a bit of strategy because if you have to stay in your circle, if someone's pulling, you can kind of let go and someone falls out. Like I think that helps a bit with it's not just brute strength. There's strategy.
Well, on the strength, I liked early on the matchups were gender based, and then the whole thing goes wonky. And I'm not sure about that. I feel like it needs to be for a challenge which is purely strength. It should be male, female, where that's available.
Are you telling me that Sophie is not stronger than any of the men on the other tribe?
Sophie wasn't powerlifting back then.
He wasn't powerlifting at that point in time.
She started after.
Yeah, I still think there's a certain amount of natural strength that she probably already had.
Well, that's fine. She can
become
annihilate
a powerlifter overnight. Like the amount of weight she's throwing around these days.
I feel like she should get the natural advantage against going against some ordinary woman and just destroying it. That's what should occur.
True.
Just like if there's one big guy, he has to go against the other big guy. And there's a second big guy, and the other team doesn't have as bigger guy, and now they're in trouble. They mix the gender, but it does give us the fun John versus Ma battle, which as the viewer, knowing they've played in the season before and have this pre-existing relationship, which not all the viewers knew, but that we know as viewers, having played a season before this, is a fun little thing. And you know what's really interesting? Dan says there, the 2 Victorians facing off. However, in the Matt chat, John said he was from, like the first Matt chat, John said he was from Sydney, which he used to live in Sydney, but then he moved to Melbourne and actually slept on Ma's couch. So they had a very strong relationship. But he was trying to keep it secret, obviously, he was from Melbourne, and Dan outed him completely in this moment.
There's a few times that Dan and Liv say things that they probably shouldn't say. And I'll get to that in one of the episodes I'm covering. I think it's at the merge one, like Liv mentioned something that happened at Purple's last tribal council. I'm like, you can't talk about that.
Yeah.
Like how they pretend not to know everyone's name on the first day. Like when they're, guy on the left, what's your name? You know everyone's name. You cast them.
I actually like that. That's like this is what Survivor does, right? I know,
but I'm saying that's like they pretend that they don't.
Yeah, I like that. But yeah, I get what you mean about the little secrets, and look, I think that was a slip up.
They have to pretend they don't know anything that's going on.
You can't expect
they have no idea who's getting voted out at each tribal, even though they very much do.
You can't expect Dan was across the little games John was planning on doing, particularly as John was a fill-in for this season. He was a last-minute call-up. So Dan knows this from Victoria. John's got a plan. Dan probably didn't pay attention specifically when John mentioned he was from Sydney, which he used to be from Sydney. But, people later this season get caught in lesser lies than that.
I'm like, how did this lie not get pulled up when other bullshit gets caught up?
Which we'll get into in a later episode.
I didn't like lying this season.
It's a very old school season. It's all about trust, honesty, lying. The final is Banfield against Simon. Banfield wins. Dom Orca of the Canberra 1 makes the call that Simon has stepped out of the circle. I don't believe Simon felt that he did. Some quality Orca energy there. Dom just choosing who wins immunity, notwithstanding that he went head-to-head with Simon's wife in the prior season. They didn't seem to get along on the actual season. So I wonder if there was a little influence here from the referee. But we love it, Dom. You get in there, you influence the game. That's what
Did
we
they
love
go
from
back
the
and look at the tape, do you think?
No, they just trusted Dom.
We see them do that in season 3. They had a challenge where they had to go back and look at the tape.
I don't think Simon made enough of a fuss. I think if
Yeah.
he made more of a fuss, they might have gone to the
He
tape.
wasn't ORCA enough.
He
There you go.
wasn't. He's
Being
a
an
more
ORCA
cool-
might win you a challenge.
He's a chill guy. So then we go to the ultimate sacrifice, and the mechanic here is that the winner team picks someone to. Does the losing team pick someone to go?
No,
Is
the
that
winning
right?
team picks
Yes.
one
Winning
person,
team.
and then that person picks someone else.
Yes. So the winning team
Yeah.
chose that Michael would go. Either
No,
Banfield
the
won the
winning,
fucking
the winning
challenge.
team chose Mel.
Okay, yeah.
The
So yeah,
purple
sorry.
won.
So, yeah.
They chose Mel.
Yeah. And Mel chooses Michael.
Yeah.
And then we get the Blair sacrifice, Blair Witch music sacrifice zone. And there's the weird prop with the like draws. Now, I podcasted for 12 weeks about this season. I've watched it again. I still have no idea how the punishments were supposed to work. And like, you know, if you took like the punishments were supposed to be relative to the advantage, right?
Yeah, so the better advantage, the worse your punishment.
But the punishments were sort of random.
No, I think that because they had the draws and they could pick which one. I think there were 4 different ones in each draw, but which ones were in the draws was based on what you took. So like Mel had a choice of 4 pretty bad things. Because like you look at the public voting, Anna has to publicly vote 3 times, but Mel only has to do it once because his advantage
That's
was
right.
less.
Oh, so you're
So I
saying
think there was probably 4 very like the same. There was probably 4 disadvantages that were pretty similar across the board, and just how serious they were depended on what you took.
the number is what changed. Is that what you think? The
Yes.
number of public votes.
Yeah,
the
so
number of
Sophie we saw had to
ghost
sit out
votes.
of 2 challenges. If she'd had something better, she might have had to sit out of 3 or 4 challenges.
I think I've always assumed it was more constructed than that because of the fact that Mel here chooses the super idol and gets the most appropriate punishment for the super idol, which is the ghost votes. Because if you got the
And same
ghost
with
vote,
Mel's block a vote, he can block 1 vote and he gets 1 vote against him. Like that's also very appropriate.
yeah, I thought this was planned, right? Like it would be bullshit to be getting ghost votes for a freaking Steeler vote. But equally, it would have been bullshit if Mel got sit out of 5 challenges in return for the super idol.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
imagine
like,
how
I
you
would
organize them.
find- I would
Did you
love
see
to
them
know
like, choosing each draw?
what the other 4 were for Mel for that option. Like, what were the other 3 options that she had? Like, I don't necessarily think they were only sit out of 5 challenges. I don't think that's worth that at all. So I'm really curious to know what, if anybody knows, what the other options were at that moment.
Yeah.
So what I'm thinking is we saw the punishments. It was the public votes. It was the ghost votes. It was sitting out of the challenge. And was there anything else?
Challenge disadvantage.
That was the challenge disadvantage.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were the 4, right, that we saw.
That we saw, yeah.
So I wondered if those are the 4 in the draws, but they will say, because you've got the super idol, it's 5. It's whatever you get in there, it's 5 or 3 rounds
Yeah.
or whatever. And then the number is whatever the number relates to the item, but the item you could have got the easier punishment, is what I'm thinking. But I don't know, it just doesn't work out that way.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll tell you my biggest issue with the ultimate sacrifice is the fact that everyone got to see what every single advantage was. Because I assume what happened when the next person went, if Anna had said, yeah, I want the super idol, Dan would have been like, well, sorry, that's gone. That tells her, okay, there's only 1 or 2 people who could have it now.
Yes.
It was just, yeah, they should have either had a designated one at this ultimate sacrifice, here's what you can get, and the punishment is according, or it's like there's 6 different, however, I don't remember how many things there were. There's 6 different things. There's the top one, and then there's the middle, and they don't tell them what it is, but explain that they're worth more. just having it outright that, hey, this is what's on the menu, it kind of spoiled it. Like everyone knew Mel had a super idol very quickly.
Yeah. Aston says, I think there were 4 kind of evenly weighted punishments per reward, but they were all different per reward. So they weren't all the same, changing numbers. They were all different. Then he says, don't quote me.
Yeah, I think that's okay. I think that makes sense because it feels that way.
Yeah.
I agree about the menu, but I don't agree about the menu in some ways.
Yeah.
I feel like with an advantage like a super idol, it's better that people know it's there because then people can play around it. And that's what's interesting about a super idol. Whereas if no one knows you've got a secret super idol, and you're not going to always assume there's a super idol in the game, right? It's a rarity in Survivor. So then it's not so much of an interesting thing and Mel would just break it out whenever it's relevant. I think what should have happened is the menu was available, but there's only one of each and you don't know what's been taken. So you could say, I want the super idol, and they say, super idol's gone, but you still get the punishment perhaps, right? Like, or no punishment, but no idol, or either or, right? I felt like everyone knew what was gone. And that's where it's particularly like, who cares? Because no one picked something that hadn't already been picked.
Yeah, I think they were told, no, you can't have that. Sorry. And I do agree that you probably need to know that a super idol's out there. I think with advantages in particular, it's kind of unfair if people don't know what they're up against. But I think there needed to be another way to make sure that it wasn't very, like, because Anna was always going to know what Mel got. There was no real way around that. So maybe they have a list of what's there and it's randomly determined what you're playing for this time. Or it's, I don't know how you fix it, but just the way it was set out, it put a real disadvantage on Mel.
I think it really hurt Mel in the end. But I don't think anyone gets hurt by a super idol. But I just feel like.
Well, John does,
I don't feel like the ultimate sacrifice works as a concept.
No.
Generally. I don't think it's a particularly good part of the episode. I like the interaction between the two people, but often it doesn't end up being that interesting, particularly as the other has to leave as soon as, they draw out the rocks. I do like, I like how the players use the ultimate sacrifice in their own games, and we can talk about some moments later. I don't like the ultimate sacrifice's mechanics.
Yeah.
All right, so
and
Mel
then
gets
too many
super
advantages in the game. I think we're all probably in agreement there that having all of those things plus a legacy advantage from both camps, it's too much.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah,
but I like it.
Yeah, I wonder if it could have been more of a random draw thing. Like, so you could have gone up there, you sacrifice something, whether it's your vote at this point, like that's kind of the standard thing you have to sacrifice. And then it's like then you pull the advantage out of the draw, as opposed to like picking something off the menu and then pulling the disadvantage out of the draw. You pull the advantage out of the draw based on what you're willing to sacrifice. So there might be a list of all the things you can sacrifice. So you're like, I'm willing to sacrifice 3 tribal councils of my vote. And then you get a choice of like highly powered things, but it's random.
Also, what was the ultimate? I think this is a good point, Dani. What was the ultimate sacrifice? Like, there was the ultimate advantage. What was the ultimate?
What I mean. So, they had to the menu should have been what they were willing to sacrifice as part of their game. And then the advantages were random as based on the draw that's matched to what they're willing to sacrifice.
Yeah, because I would like to know if Mel had known what she was going to be sacrificing, would she have taken the super idol? I'm telling you right now, I would not. If you said to me, you can have this great advantage, but you are going to have 3 votes against your next 2 tribals, I'd be like, nah, I'm good.
Well,
thank you, Aston.
That was actually pretty good though, because you only had to survive 1. Like if you didn't survive 1, you're a bit fucked. You know what I mean? Because you got the super idol. So if in the second one, if you survive 1, and then the next one you got all the votes, we got the super idol, right? So you just save yourself and you don't have it anymore, and it didn't really matter. That's why it works so well as a disadvantage for the super idol. It's like a perfectly paired punishment for the reward. I really do rate that. and I thought it was very effective. There's parts I like about it, but I felt as a viewer I was very confused the whole time.
I think it has potential. We need to workshop it just a little bit.
Yeah.
Wasn't sufficiently workshopped. Anyway, we go back to the orange, and this is pretty quick. I'll go here. James is trying to corral his numbers. He's trying to bring the pod together so he can rule as the King Orca. And ask Sam if she wants to. Can you invite Sam into the alliance? He says, Sam, would you like to come get some water? No, I'm good. I'm good. 2 wings, baby. And then James is very frustrated by this because he gets with his group. They're always like, I invited her to come and she didn't come, so we should vote her out. And everyone's like, whatever, because, like, you know, as long as it's not me. And that's the end of Sam. He just takes full control. Wolf takes full control. There's no subtlety. Just makes himself the leader, makes the decision. Everyone goes along.
Yeah.
Orca, cool. And poor old Sam, I think in her confessional exit says she might have made a mistake by not going to get the water, and she's realized the mistake there. But I don't know if she's not a big Survivor fan or something, or just generally has an experience.
If you're a Survivor fan and someone asks if you want to go get water, you say yes.
If people invite you to anything, you want to have a chat, like, yes. Yeah. Even if you hate that person.
Part of my alliance, yes.
Especially when you know you're going to tribal council. It's not like it's before tribal council and you're like, well, I'm unsure whether you're like, you've heard every chat you're invited to. Even if you know you're voting for that person, or even if you know they only can be voting for each other, you have that chat just to fucking cover your bases. What's
fascinating is what would have happened if she had gone with them. Then who's getting voted out? Mel's got votes. This is where Anna starts. Is this the first time Anna votes for Mel? She just loves voting for Mel.
Yeah,
every time she votes for Mel.
Joseph gets a vote. Yeah.
Sam was told to vote for Joseph.
Yeah, but Joseph was sort of like in Wolf's plan, at least at the beginning. Like, he hasn't gone fully off him. He hasn't started telling all his stories yet that makes everyone like annoyed with him, presumably.
I think Mel, but then she stays. So then Joseph would be the backup.
Joseph, I just don't know if Joseph is clearly the next boot by the time we get to his boot, but they've got more time with him before that happens. I'm not exactly sure. I think it could have been a more interesting trial. It could have been Simon. Simon was a bit on the outs.
I mean, for the first vote, it can be anyone.
No.
Like, Simon only survived.
Simon this episode, he made me like, he was quite. I just felt Simon was quite smarmy this episode, and he kept talking about his old bloke, young girls alliance, and it just made me feel gross. I don't like it.
I think Simon's a very genuine guy, but all of that comes across as not right.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. I just this episode, I was like, oh, I don't remember this feeling. It was like that.
Older white guy that creeps people out without realizing he's creeping people out, and with the best of intentions too.
Yeah.
Because I think he's a genuine, lovely guy who has absolutely the correct intentions. I am not, but it does not come across like that way in his confession.
Just oblivious to, that.
Yeah, I needed him to stop saying old bloke, young girls. I just needed that to stop. I didn't like it.
Mm-hmm.
That was his plan. It's his grand plan. It's his grand alliance.
I know.
You know, it's got wonderful history, like Pascal and what was her name, Nivea.
Yeah.
Nivea.
Nalia.
It doesn't have good history because that guy ended up being a massive creep. That's the joke I was going for. If you're not into the Marquise's extra law. Anyway, we move on to episode 2. Who was covering episode 2?
It was me. Like, guys, I panicked when we started this episode because my notes split across pages, and I was like, I don't think I did episode 2, but I have. I was like going back, being like, wait, what episodes are I meant to do? I did do it. So I had a slight panic. I was like, I can't find my
episode. I checked the list multiple times to make sure I had the right episode.
Why did I? But I was because I have one blank page from where I just skipped a page accidentally, and I was like, why can I only see episode 3 here? That's not my episode 1. That's right. I have my.
Tell us in the comments if you'd like to hear more about the admin production. Or you'd like us to continue the episode
behind the curtains about what this is like.
Dani, who's quite an organized person, that would have been stress.
It was stressful because it was happening live on the podcast. I was panicking and trying to remain very calm while I went back through my emails. Anyway. Episode title for this, I hope you get drowned in this Mexican wave, which as soon as I read that, I was like, I remember that confessional from Ma. That was fantastic. Talk about the notes. Fuck off, CK. Yeah, Mel agrees with me. Can never hear too much admin stuff.
Yeah, we love admin.
Yeah, this the Mexican wave.
Keep time with Danny's behind.
You know what? I could talk for hours about admin. So if it's my job, I could do it for a long time.
Yeah.
And then
CK's had enough. He wants me to talk about episode 2. I'm so
The
sorry.
Mexican Wave episode title is probably one of the best, if not the best, in the entire 11 seasons that we're covering in this countdown. It's an exceptional quote. Ma's very good in the confessionals in this entire season.
Like she's so quotable this whole season.
Right. Absolutely.
I think she
Ma
gets
is
quite a few.
really in the confessional.
I think she gets a few episode titles along the way, which is not surprising at all. Back in the Love Rocks, Jo finds them, but she doesn't want that power. She's very much like, I don't want to do this. So just puts them on random plates. They turn the plates upside down, and she kind of puts them on to see who gets them. And then,
what do you think production wanted when they were hiding them all together? Do you think they were expecting someone to come along and take one and then not tell anyone else, or like? Because I don't know what you expect to have when you got 8 people looking for 4 rocks. Here we're going to put them all together.
Yeah, that was.
I think they wanted them found quickly.
That's probably it.
Yeah.
But still scatter that. Make it really obvious. Make it like a child Easter egg hunt. Put them in obvious spots, but separately.
I feel like they hid them too well. The fact that Orange couldn't find their last couple, like Orange are going to a lot of tribals, I suppose, which makes it tricky. But they should have just.
Yeah, they got no time to look for love rocks from other tribal councils. They've got to go to. They're like, fuck those love rocks. I don't care. So for Michael and Grace get the rocks. We're back at Winu. Mel is very, very much trying to get to the bottom of who voted for her. All the options, trying to figure out who it was. The tribe quickly figure out her.
I think the love rocks would have worked better if it had just been in the first episode. Like, it didn't need 4 stages. Like, the whole principle is to split everyone up before there's active gameplay. Once there's active gameplay, aka a vote, you don't need it. People will go off and make their own groups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. It's going to get like, the 4 stages are unnecessary. It kind of like just
goes on.
I think Backyard does it well, where they just hide the camp supplies around. Go and look for your camp supplies. They're hidden around your area somewhere. Like, that splits them up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eden won, of course. Eden agrees with me, and of course, Eden knows everything, and I know everything -1 because I lost to him in that. Do you guys know that Canberra did this trivia quiz to raise money?
Oh, no, I knew I did it, but I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah, Eden won, and I came second by like 1.
Well done,
It's a tough question. It wasn't easy.
Well done. To our people's champion. Remaining
also
champion.
The trivia champion.
Trivia champion, people's champion, just an all-round champion dude. We see the tribe quickly figure out that, like, Mel's advantage, but they think that she has 2 votes on her, not 3. So they think
such a bad lie.
No, Mel says that. Mel says there's 2, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she tells a couple of people that there were 2, but they are very confused because she obviously got 4 votes at the last tribal council, so they're trying to figure out then who the it's just a very.
Because Anna throws a vote on her.
Fair enough. Don't tell them before the first tribal, but once it's come out, just be like, yeah, guys, I had 3 votes. Why say you've got 2? What is the difference between 2 and 3?
I think she's just kind of stopping it from the numbers ganging up on her. Like, she thinks like people are going to put more numbers on her to like balance out a vote. If they think it's 2, then they don't give enough against her. Whereas if it's 3,
yeah, but she doesn't have to tell them that it's the same for next time as well. She just says, "Oh yeah, I had 3 votes against me from the sacrifice zone," and then just pretend that's it.
Yeah, that's true.
And then after the second time, "Oh, sorry guys, I had it one more time."
Yeah, I agree. That's the play, Jules. I agree with that.
That is the play. Well done. I like it.
I would not blame someone for lying about that. Like, I'm not going to tell you guys I have 3 votes against me because you'll just vote for me.
Yeah.
Like,
and then I have to use my super idol because they flush the votes, you use the super idol, and then it's done.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Except it's a risk because then who's getting the other votes? But you probably can split. But you're right. Your play is how Mel should have played it. But I think instead she just sows chaos. Like, everyone's confused about the vote.
Yeah. Oh yeah, everyone's kind of like trying to figure out the specifics of it. Everyone kind of has different ideas of what it is because she hasn't told everybody that it's 2 votes. She's told certain people, and then Chinese whispers as you do as the game goes on.
And Anna's vote really spices it up into the next level of confusion.
Absolutely, especially when she's doubling down that she voted for Sam. Like she's added, like she just won't admit to anybody. She was like, "No, I voted for." Like she doubles down hard on that vote,
and no one suspects her at all.
This girl, like from looking at her from like the very episode, this girl's tenacious. Like she's savvy. She's very tenacious. She wants what she wants. Like
she comes across as very like, I'm so sweet and innocent.
Yeah.
Because how old is she here? She's quite young, I think.
Yeah,
she looks like she's young.
Under 20, maybe 20. I think there is anyone watching this in the future or now who is a young woman, but also intelligent, and you go on these games, you just play up as dumb as you want for like the first half of the game, and no one will do anything to you. Like,
no,
you young. People just make a judgment about you. It's fucking ridiculous, but that is the stereotype that people will happily feed into. They'll just tell you what to do, and you'll go and vote that way. Like, and then you bust out at the merge. That's where you reveal yourself.
You stabbed them in the back at merge. Yeah, I think she was 19. Yeah, that tracks. Maybe. I was gonna say 18, 19, 20.
Like, I could never play. I could never be this character. I could never what's going on? Chill.
I think any woman can with the right set of men.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. You got to know your audience. You got to figure out. So I've done some plenty of job interviews, knowing, especially if it's a panel of men, knowing who to play to. We see Joseph clocking the numbers inconsistency, so he kind of seems to be the one who really starts that.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle.
I don't think your ego would let you.
Yeah, I was going to say the ego. He would not be able to do it. Your ego
would not let you play dumb at all.
I played an org once where I didn't play dumb, but I just told the truth to everyone and didn't try and backstab. It was the most boring fucking thing, and I won the game. So maybe it's what I should do.
Yeah, no, I think it's because you are so intelligent. So I think playing dumb would just eat at everything about you.
Yeah.
You do it all. Simon doesn't like the way the first vote was handled. He feels kind of gross about it, and he calls Joseph neurotic, which I thought was an interesting take. And then I have a note here: Mel in sunglasses. So the sunglass saga continues in Canberra.
No sunglasses.
Sunglasses.
I know I said it's an old school Survivor, but we don't need to be Borneo sunglasses, right? We don't.
And then I'm so excited to have this episode because then we get Wolf with his iconic ORCA quotes. It begins here, episode 2.
Yeah, I've got my notes for the episodes I'm not covering is like literally like 4 lines, like what the challenge was, who gets voted out. I've got here James ORCA reference.
Yeah. I'm a real estate agent, so I'm used to swimming with sharks, but it's a good thing I'm a bloody ORCA, top of the food chain, head of the pod, and that's where I'm sitting at the moment. Yes.
You're not wrong.
Yes. We love it. I love it. I had to go back and write down the whole quote. I was like, I love this, especially knowing that it's our namesake. I love it. Thank you, Wolf, for that brilliant quote. Back at camp, Bamfield's feeling awkward at purple. Where are my notes? Bamfield's awkward. Soph is in kind of with everybody. She's the one kind of everyone wants. They're all happy about Soph. Everybody loves Soph. And Ma begins her train at Mal, which does not stop until she gets to Mal. Mal begins living in Ma's head rent-free from episode 2. Every episode from here, she wants Mal, and Mal cannot remember Ma's name to save his life.
He's aligned with her, though.
I know. Can't tell you what, he's aligned, but can't tell you what her name is. So he's not thinking about her at all, and Ma is all about having Mal out of the game.
Ma is so good at this game that she's deliberately trying to get people out, like Mal and Nick, and they think they're tight with her. Like, how is that not coming across to them either in body language or anyone telling them? No, but she's constantly trying to get them both out.
But you watch her body language, like and the way she asks questions, she's very smart in the way she asks, because she kind of like doubles back on people's questions to her. She kind of gives a little bit, but doesn't tell them anything. And then she's like, "What do you think?" And then they say something. She's like, "Yes, that's what I'm thinking." And like jumps on every train she's given. Like when people are talking to her, she's like enthralled. Like there's no body language to pick up on. The girl has got it figured out, and it's and that's why she's such an impressive winner, because you watch it back and you're going, bloody hell, she puts on a show, that's for sure.
And I think the accent helps her too.
Yeah,
it's the advantage of having played before.
Yes,
she hasn't seen her season, which is the biggest advantage, because you can see the perception of yourself, but it means no one else has seen her either, so she's got that benefit. But she's seen parts of the season. She was helping edit it. She may have seen some of her own footage, and she has learned so much from that first time. And
I mean, did she really do much wrong the first time? She was ultimately swap screwed.
No one knew where they stood with her. Nobody.
Okay.
Like, at any time. Like, I thought maybe I was aligned with her, but I wasn't sure. Laurel thought, yeah, probably, but wasn't sure. No one was sure. So what she gave here is everyone was sure that they were aligned with her. That's the difference.
Yeah, very much so. And then we see Soph start to be wary of the Michael Banfield duo as it starts to team up. There you go.
Yeah, well, that's She got swapped onto the tribe that was going to lose every single challenge and was shit.
She didn't. I don't know. What does he mean? She didn't flip quick enough. Like, she flipped. And then
that is for next week's podcast. We can talk about the difference in the games for next week's podcast. Next month?
Next month. Yeah.
Next month.
We've got 4 podcasts. There's a whole series of coverage coming.
I'm so sorry. My bad. Next, when we do number 1, Playing with Fire, we can talk about the difference in Ra's game then. And then we're at the challenge, which is the tic-tac throw, which Grace sits out of. And Purple,
I actually really like this. I was crapping all over their challenges before, and I looked at this. I'm like, this is dumb. But then when it started, I'm like, this is good value. I enjoyed watching this. Yeah. This was exciting.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, yeah. I like the double of Nick and Wolf at the end. Like knowing that they're the two that like probably the ones who can do it the best. And we say win, you win, which is exciting. And Nick and Anna get picked for the ultimate sacrifice. And this is kind of where I see like the real start. Like Anna is very quick to be able to tell Nick what's happening over there. And Nick's sort of the same. They agree to rock off. Anna wins. And then you see Nick tell Anna that Grace is going to be the one who's voted out. He's like, and if doesn't happen, then I'll be surprised. So only when you victory ever this up they slayed.
Mm-hmm. The only time I think later someone said we should have been called Lose You or something.
Oh yeah, I've got that's in my next episode. I think it's just like more like Lose You. Anna chooses the regular idol, so she must publicly vote at the next 3 tribal council. Mal is not happy to be losing place in that challenge. He was very filthy. He didn't like that they lost. I mean, is anybody ever happy? But he was particularly happy about it. So is Nick. He's now become very wary of Banfield, and the Blake Banfield Bradley saga begins.
They're not aware of that yet. That comes later.
No, it begins here.
No, it begins here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
It begins here.
That's the first time that he introduced himself as Banfield, and Wolfie says something about calling him Blake.
Yeah.
But Wolfie wasn't at the thing. Well, he told Anna about it.
No, he said at the challenge.
No, because he called Banfield Blake at the challenge because they knew each other from outside. Right. And then I think Michael clocks. Yeah, this is when James calls him. Yeah, Wolf calls him Blake. Namegate.
Why
Namegate
didn't yeah? I spoke to Banfield about this at the time. We did an interview. Why didn't you say, Blake's my first name? Obviously, my fucking name isn't Banfield. Like that's my surname.
It's crazy that this doesn't get squashed so quickly, but it begins episode 2. Right?
I guess he's trying to cover that Wolf knows him.
Yeah, they played an org together.
At that point, the cat's out of the bag. Like, just admit, I know that guy. They used to do a podcast together. That's the actual truth. Do you know that, Dani?
Sorry, say again?
they used to do a podcast together.
Oh.
So you don't.
No, he said
you know,
he played it off really well. He's like, oh yeah, we played a Deal or No Deal org together, which
Yeah.
does sound like the most boring org ever. I'm not.
Yeah, not Deal or No
anyone
Deal
goes
either,
Deal or
which
No
is
Deal org,
surprisingly
don't
good. Deal or No Deal. But yeah, like they actually used to do a podcast together, and we know that podcast people that's an unbreakable bond right there. So, like,
Yeah,
sure it
yeah,
is.
not an unbreakable bond.
Sure.
It is.
Thanks, guys.
No, I played an org with you, but I don't know if I've played with you.
Yeah.
I'd vote someone out if they told me.
Exactly. See, Ed agrees with me. That sounds like the worst org ever.
For those that are listening and watching the video, Eden says, I'd vote someone out if they told me they played a Deal or No Deal org.
Oh, and this is
Anyway.
well before Deal or No Deal Island.
Yeah, so it would have
Everyone
been
is so
straight up Deal or
sus.
No Deal.
Everyone is so sus on Banfield for having a first name. Like, it's absurd, the level of
It's
suspicion.
completely absurd.
Yeah, you have a first name.
So,
Choice of,
I mean,
I
yeah, we
knew
see
this guy.
Grace.
Shifty jumper, shifty name, shifty guy.
Yep. And he just doesn't also do himself any favors. Like it's just like
No.
he just kind of he doesn't help himself in any way.
When he's telling the truth, he seems like he's lying sometimes.
Yeah.
Like he kind of
He is a car
over-explains.
salesman. Like, he's a car salesman.
He goes into too much detail when he's lying. When he's telling the truth, and that is normally a tell of someone lying. Like it's just what? Yeah, no.
I think he's just excited to be around adults because he left his kids behind. So he's just like, I'm away from my kids. I'm just going to tell everybody everything about everything, which I understand. That's very easy to do.
We got to the point where he says Banfield's his first name and his last name, and it whole becomes a whole fucking thing. Like, or like, he just gets really, it's tripped up over it all.
But then I think later in there we get Bradley thrown in there too. He calls himself Bradley because that's his grandfather.
I'm sorry, I'm dying.
I can't even. There's too many. Oh my god. I can't
Oh
even
my
remember.
god! It's like Eden has just posted the whole quote of Christine going off it. Oh, was it Christine or what was the other? Stephanie, was that her name? No, I don't know. Going off the
talking about?
coach.
Oh yeah.
What was his name?
Oh,
What was his
the
birth
coach.
name? It wasn't Coach.
Yeah.
It was Benjamin.
Benjamin. Yeah.
Very good. Eden has this stuff in his head. It's amazing. All right.
I'm with you.
Spin it
Oh
on.
my god. Stacey, there you go.
Stacey, knew it was an S name.
Anyway, Grace obviously still appears to be the vote with Banfield as a split. Super interesting footage here of like Grace who's targeting Nick in this, and she kind of like follows him around to like stop him from talking to people because she's trying to get him to like converse with her, and he's leaving conversations as soon as she arrives, and she like chases him around camp. I thought that was pretty amazing.
She thought she was in.
Yeah.
She thought the vote was Nick. Mars just like pulls the hood over all these people's eyes.
Yeah, but it's just funny to watch her chase Nick around because she's trying to make Nick talk to her, and Nick doesn't want to bar of her at all. Ma doesn't like that Mal is outflanking her with numbers, so she's like, this guy, I can't. Oh, that would be fun. Grace versus Nick in a rival season.
Yeah, I have to say, Mars like concern about Malcolm that like he's this diabolical player, and I'm not saying you're not a good player, Malcolm. You are here in the chat, and I think you did have some moves to make. But Mars' concern, he's like, I think she sees him as the CK of her tribe in this occasion, and he's like, he's gonna make all the moves. I'm gonna outflank that fucking guy. I'm not letting him like bring in alliances. I'm not getting beaten by that guy again. Like, and Malcolm's just like, la la la, I'm in alliance with Ma. Is it name Ma?
I'm happy. We've got a nice little four going on. Feels good. And then we see Mars.
She's playing a game against a person that doesn't exist. And I think
exactly.
it's me living rent free in her head. That's what I'm going to say.
Yeah. She's just like she has this fight with herself because it's like Mal's like, yeah, cool, aligned, and she's just like, this guy, gotta get him. And we see Ma pitch Joe instead of Grace because she wants to weaken Mal because she sees them as a Joe and then we see Ma's episode title. She's gonna drown Mal in her Mexican wave.
She really wanted to vote out Mal at this vote. Like, she really did.
She really did. I see Grace, about Tribal Council, Grace accuses the people of like playing too hard too quickly. So this just like ends up being quite a spicy trouble because Grace is just not laying down. She doesn't like anybody at this point in time.
This is actually Grace's problem though. Like,
Yeah.
there's no way Mars getting the numbers for a Malcolm vote when Grace is being so like off-putting. If Grace seemed more like go with the flow, maybe Mar can get the numbers, but it's still pretty hard. Like Malcolm's reasonably insulated, I think.
Yeah, and I mean, and Nick and him are quite close, and Nick's got that charismatic character that people are looking to as like wanting to keep aligned with. And if Nick's not into it, then the majority is not going to be.
I wouldn't be into it. Sophie, I don't think was super into it at that point. Like, it just wasn't going to happen.
And it's so early; they know they're going to want to win challenges. Yep. He's clearly a challenge threat. That's an asset, not a liability at this point.
Yeah. And then we have a very salty exit. She says, "Well done, Nick. You got everyone against me. I hope Simon comes for you all." And she says, "This tribe is bullies," which Nick takes great offense to. He doesn't like
Nick. He takes offense, but he gives a great answer at Final Tribal Council to a question about where you made a mistake and how you improved upon it. And he said, he was taken aback by this, but he reflected on it and thought, you know what, I wasn't talking to her at all. And I need to be more engaged with everyone and be more, kind on a personal level if I want to be successful in this game.
Very much so.
Yeah. I don't know if they're bullies though. I don't think they're big. I don't think anyone is a bully.
No one bullied her.
No.
Yeah. All right, on to episode 3.
That's me.
I'm just going to grab a blanket because I'm freezing. I'll be right back.
Okay.
More. If you would like to know more about Dani's temperature situation,
we've heard about a note. We've heard about a blanket.
What's the Celsius her heater is set to? Put it in
I've got my heater on, so I don't need a blanket, so I'm okay. But anyway, episode 3.
Cat is keeping me warm, because
my cat's this is the time she chooses to be affectionate with me is when I'm trying to podcast. I think it's because the only time my dog is on my lap, so But anyway, we're just going to carry right on. We go into the Purple Tribe, and Jo is saying that she voted for Nick because she didn't want Grace to be voted out unanimously. We'll also see this as a point of contention at Final Tribal. She's nervous that could get her into trouble, but it's okay because she was honest about it. And she told Nick, "Yep, I'm going to vote for you, but Grace is still going." I don't know about you, but if I was Nick, I wouldn't have been happy with that answer. It's like, no, don't do that.
No, especially in the first vote.
Pleased.
Yeah, no.
Nick was
unanimous vote is fine.
It's
unanimous story. So yeah, because that's the only unanimous vote we get the entire season is her vote out.
Because Jo was making sure they weren't unanimous.
Yeah, it's like, oh. Well done.
She doesn't need to vote for Banfield, for God's sake.
Yeah. Clearly doesn't care about her voting record. And then we go.
She doesn't know about voting records.
No, she doesn't care. Doesn't know what
Doesn't
it is.
know about the wiki.
John and Michael's, because the 3-1.
Yeah, I found it whatever.
Yeah. But we go over to Orange, and John gives one of my favorite confessionals I've ever seen of him, where he is talking about the tribe dynamics and he's relating them to the plot of Mean Girls. Love that for him. He talks about that Hayley is the queen bee. She's Regina George. And he sees himself and Mel as like the Mean Girls posse. And he's Karen because he wants to put his fist in his mouth. So there's that. So in his mind, it's Hayley, him, and Mel. And then we go to Hayley, and she's like, "Yeah, Anna's my number one. Me and Anna are super close." Like, and she has a confessional that I really relate to. She talks about just wanting to have one person that you tell Hayley as Regina George forever is iconic. Yeah, I mean, I love a Mean Girls reference. But yeah, Hayley talks about how she just wants to have one person that she fully trusts, tells everything to, bounces her ideas off, and that's what she needed to find, and that's Anna here. And we see everyone seems to really like Hayley. I think she's the Ma equivalent on this tribe, and if things had gone a bit differently, it would have been really good to see those two head to head.
Yes.
Everyone really loves her, but she's saying she loves Anna. Anna's her girl. But she doesn't want to be seen as in control. She wants James to be seen as the leader. He's tall. He's good at challenges. He wants to boss everyone around, and I think he probably would love to be the leader of any tribe he's on.
What's the deal with John wearing contacts in this season? Like, I haven't seen John with contacts a lot. In Playing with Fire, wears glasses the whole time. There's even a scene later where Mel has to put his contacts in for him. What do you think's up with that choice? Is he trying to not be, in case someone knows him from Melbourne? He's trying to look different.
He's not Clark Kent.
Or do we think it's because he knew it was going to rain? So he's trying to
I would have thought.
Rain on his glasses.
Danny, you're the glasses wearer here. How does rain affect you?
Oh yeah, rain. If you're not covered, you won't be able to see, and then it'll fog up because of the heat from your body. If you're trying to get warm, it'd be punished. And then everything is wet, so you can't dry them off.
Playing with Fire rained all the time, so I guess he's got that experience. That's his learned experience from his first time. Nice. All right, thank you for that feedback.
You're welcome.
If you'd like to know more about wearing glasses and Danny's eyesight,
I'm going to do a separate podcast about how I'm wearing them.
I defer to the person here who understands what she's talking about. I don't wear glasses.
It was good information. I had to make the joke, but it was good information. Thank you. The joke was worth making.
People want to hear from me, CK. Shut up.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, no one's responded to my let me know in the comments so far.
Yeah,
but, yes, they do want to hear from you.
They're going to hear from me regardless. So,
yeah. We can talk anyway. We go to the challenge, and it's for immunity and sandwiches. I've raised this before. Canberra does too much food rewards. They don't need a reward every single challenge. They can starve. It's Survivor.
Correct.
It's fine.
And it's 2-day Survivor.
Exactly.
And we're at the 3rd challenge.
Yeah, and you've
How much do
already
people eat in a day?
A couple of hours.
Yeah.
I have some breakfast and then maybe a sandwich and then some dinner. And I'm full all day. What?
Yeah.
I would eat more food playing Canberra Survivor than I eat in an ordinary day.
Yeah,
Yes.
you'd put on weight playing Survivor. So they didn't have a reward every challenge, just the ones we won.
You just don't need a reward. You don't need the rewards. That's my
No.
You don't need it.
I will have one reward at the 4th or 5th challenge, somewhere where you're sort of in that early afternoon of the day. People are starting to get hungry. But anyway. But they find out that Connor is going to be the reward. He's going to be at the sacrifice zone, and he's going to go back with the winning tribe. And oh my God, a season 1 Survivor alumni is going to be at our camp at the time. That was so exciting. Oh, Hayley's here.
Haley!
Yeah, excuse y'all. It was just the damn purple tribe. Some of us were hated by the Survivor gods.
She did have a bad run.
Look, even the few that they had, there was too many. Purple tribe didn't need to be full all the time.
Look, if there's a player I want to see again, she's high on my list.
Yeah.
Are you dissing Connor? I didn't mind Connor from season 1.
I'm just saying that, Sydney season 1 went hold my beer. We'll get the winner to be our actual player.
They were usurped by Sydney, but at the time, this was a strong
At the time,
Very
it was
cool.
huge. Have any Survivor alumni. So the
And
challenge
he's coming
is
out.
Go.
Let's give it out for Connor. He comes out from, presumably lives in Canberra. He's come out to wherever the hell they're filming this thing, interact. What a good guy. Good on him.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And I think his one-on-one with Mara is actually quite beneficial to her. I think she actually takes a lot from it, which I'll get to shortly.
I actually disagree with that completely. We'll get to that.
Oh, we will get to it then. So
I'll sit
they're
here and
throwing the
smile.
sandbags to people with buckets, and you can block each other, and then they catch 5 and then do the puzzle. And purple just smokes orange. It's kind of sad. I think Michael's
the puzzle.
Sorry.
I was just saying the puzzle was.
Sorry, Eden. It's funny to see Connor give Mara advice when she's a far more skilled player than him.
Yeah, well, I'll get to this. She hasn't listened to it. But I just feel with this challenge, it was great, but I think the puzzle could have been smaller.
Could have been smaller.
Mm.
Yeah, it was huge. And they had it on a table where the pieces can fall through. That's why, Joe starts off trying to do it on the box.
Yeah.
How frustrated do you think Malcolm was getting with Joe's inability to do the puzzle well? He just wanted to get in. He's like, you're fucking this up. Let me in. Let me in. We have a lead, and you're fucking this up. He's trying to be nice about it. He's like, get me in there.
I think they were that far in front that he's just kind of like, I'll let you go. I won't step in. I don't need to show myself that I'm good at puzzles. I don't need to do this. I'll get out of the way.
Yeah.
Let me do it.
She's taking this badly. They're catching up. I need to get in here.
He wants to win. Haley says about his frustration. Hey, some of those throws were like way over his head.
I don't understand the decision to put Joseph on that part of the challenge.
I agree.
Like, why is James not doing that?
Correct.
James is tall. But everyone can throw a thing, and it's one throw in every 5. James is very tall.
Not everyone can throw, okay? Some of us would have very much struggled being on the throwing part.
James has long arms. Who fought for it? Joseph.
Joseph pushed for it. He was useless.
Then, in confessional, doesn't Joseph say he wish he did the puzzle instead?
Yeah, he said I should have put myself on the puzzle.
Mm.
He didn't want to run to pick up the sandbags. Oh, that's
lazy.
Yeah.
Hang on, is this where Haley hurt herself running to get the sandbags?
No, she said it was during the tug of war.
Oh, okay. So she's got a sore foot and she's running, but Joseph won't run and get the sandbags.
Correct.
I'd be mad too. Haley.
Yeah, it's fair.
I don't think Haley's revealed the injury at this point, because I think otherwise she'd say, I don't want to.
She reveals it later in this episode.
Yeah, this episode
she doesn't reveal it.
She's just hiding it for now. I think this probably aggravated as well. Doing the running is probably just what made it go from bearable to, I can't walk anymore.
Yes. So Joseph only cost himself the game, but he cost us Haley in the game as well by refusing. Joseph. That said, I don't think the catching would have been great for her either, to be honest.
But he also, essentially, I mean, if he is the reason that she was injured, it cost Simon the game as well because they lose the next challenge pretty much because Haley can't participate from the second they start. So it's a downhill slope that all comes back to Joseph not being able to catch in buckets.
He should have just not. Why was he pushing for it? Just let someone else do it.
He should have pushed for the puzzle.
I think he would have been very good at the puzzle. Yeah. He gives me strong puzzle vibes.
Are you calling him a nerd?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But yeah, so they win. The Purple Tribe win. They choose to send Simon to the sacrifice zone. He chooses Ma. Ma wins the rock off. She chooses the steal a vote because she's like, in a swap, that could be really, really useful. What swap, but sure.
Ma's never had the experience of getting swapped into sort of like she had good numbers, but then the numbers turned funky. A steal a vote could have been really helpful when she got booted. So that's strong personal experience there.
Oh, absolutely.
You think Simon had any fucking idea who Connor was?
So you're thrilled that Joseph pushed for it.
Poor old Joseph. He might be in the chat. He might watch this later. He was at the ORCA.
He was there at Canberra.
We didn't recognize him.
He was at the meet and greet.
No one realized who he was for a while.
I saw him come in and I'm like, is that Joseph?
Yeah. So he could be watching this. So just to be clear, yes, he's a nerd, but so am I, and I'm also very good at puzzles, so I'm not knocking that.
So am I.
I don't think Simon knew who the fuck Connor was.
No, he did not.
No.
There's like a part where he's like shaking his head, like, "Oh my god, so great to meet you," and it's dripping with sarcasm.
Like you could gather up actual Survivor fans, like who watch Australian Survivor, and wouldn't know who Connor is. Like,
I'll be real, I probably wouldn't have recognized him just by like if I walked past him on the street, I don't know that I would know who he was. If you said this is Connor from Survivor, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I remember you," but like. Just on face value, there's not many people from season 1 that I think I would know from their face.
I think my biggest memory for Connor is when it's like he's like the vote where he goes and he's trying to talk to Sam to flip the vote, and Brooke won't let him talk to Sam alone. Like she just like follows him around the beach. She's like, "No, I'm not leaving." She's refusing to let it be anyone but Connor.
The great strategy.
Yeah, that's the only thing that's like sticks in my head. Like, it was the first time I was like, "Oh fuck, all right."
I remember Nick the Snake tried to get him to flip earlier on, and Connor was about the one person that Nick the Snake felt he could actually get to do something, and Connor still wasn't prepared to do it, which is really interesting here because he gets into his big quote about Machiavelli and the art of war and all that sort of shit. And as Eden said before, what strategy did you have in 45 days, Connor? What do you know? And he basically tells Ma to play a loyal game. That's the quote. He says.
Yeah, because she's talking about her position in the tribe, and she's saying that she's sort of in the middle of two groups. Like she's with Nick and Ma, and they've got Michael and Banfield on one side, and they've got Mel and someone else on the other side. I can't remember who. But she feels like she's in the middle, and he's like, yeah, look.
Haley loves Connor. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. Haley's a huge Connor fan.
Yeah, actually, there's a part later when we go back to Orange where she talks about she would have really liked to meet Connor. So,
instead,
might have been the only person there.
She could have met Connor, but instead she gets to sit with Joseph and her broken ankle and listen to more of Joseph's stories as he keeps her company. So, win-win. Same. Same.
Yeah. Connor tells her to play a loyal game, and I'm just like, okay. It was like he said the thing about two warring sides. If you think they'll both hate you, I think I remembered it differently, and I think that the way he phrased it is not great. But I think I agree it's not best to play the middle because a lot of the time that's when the two sides will be like, it's the Amazon when Christy gets voted out. It's like, well, she's telling us both the same thing. Why don't we just hedge our bets and we'll all vote her out?
If you play the middle well, that's the best Survivor game. In the Amazon, that's what Rob C does until you can't hold it.
Yes, but you've got to, as long as both sides know that you are, so both sides think you are truly with them, because that was Christy's problem. She was telling everyone the same thing, and they worked it out. Now I think Ma would have been more of a Rob Sestonino type player, who everyone did think she was with them, so it was not an issue. For a lesser player, this is solid advice.
Bad advice, and she didn't follow it, and thankfully she didn't.
Yeah. Yes. We go back to purple for a split second, and Connor's just sitting around doing I played Survivor AMA. Nothing very exciting there. But we go to orange.
Someone's lost in his eyes. Is it Joe? Joe's meeting this guy for the first time in her life. Just lost in his eyes.
I don't have it in my notes, but now that you say it, I do remember that.
Yeah.
And Banfield fangirls over Connor in his confessional. He has a real moment.
Oh yeah. Connor. Oh my god, it's Connor from Australian Survivor.
Hold my beat.
But yes, on orange, Joseph is nervous. He feels responsible for the challenge loss. Well, that would be accurate.
Particularly if he really demanded that spot.
Haley says it was Joe. She says he has beautiful eyes. She probably doesn't have a clue who he is.
Exactly. So
that's the only thing she can say. You have really nice eyes.
He's cute. I think he's cute.
Joe might be under the delusion that he's a super good player or something.
Probably.
He was I don't know. I probably have in my top 3 people I liked in that season. I only really like Christy, Nick, and him.
You don't like Brooke?
I like Brooke more in her return. I didn't like her.
I agree. I like Brooke more in her return too.
This is fair. Sorry, I'm gonna have to mute every now and then because my dog doesn't like people walking past the house. Anyway, yes. So there's a bit going on for this vote. There's Joseph.
I also like Craig. Sorry for those that care. I like Craig as well.
Yes, I like Craig too.
Yeah, let's continue.
More information about CK.
Yeah. Yeah, if anyone in the comments would like to know more about which Survivor player CK likes.
Exclusively from the first Australian Survivor season. Exclusively.
Yeah.
Season 1.
I don't think I could name that many more people from that season, if I'm perfectly honest. I haven't ever rewatched it.
Yes, Lee.
I watched it once in the real time, and that I've never gone back. I've watched the final tribal multiple times.
Flick?
Barry? Brian? What was the Indigenous guy's name? Barry? Brian?
I remember Sue from Sue's Big Move.
That was was that this season?
Season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that season.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Anyway. There's Joseph and Simon's names are out there. Anna has got her public vote, so she wants to put it on someone that's not going out, so that doesn't trigger an idol. What are your thoughts on Amanda Kimmel of Survivor China?
I was going to ignore it, but
yeah, we're not going to.
She would have done better at Final Trouble Council. She'd seen her China Final Trouble Council, which she hadn't. Yeah. And she needs someone like Parvati and Todd to hang on to be reasonably capable of being good.
Correct. But yeah, so Anna doesn't want to spook Joseph by voting for him in case he's an idol. So she's either going to vote for Mel or James. James at first is like, yeah, you can vote for me, and then last minute it's like, actually, don't vote for me. Vote for Mel instead. And the trend of how many times did Anna vote for Mel this season? That's
every time she could. I think it's almost every Trouble Council. Eden, tell us in the comments. I'm pretty sure she votes for it every fucking time, which is amazing.
It's not every time, but it's up there.
It's so good though, because Mel doesn't even know her fucking name and doesn't even feel the need to show her the respect of learning it. So they've got this feud going on, but they don't seem to be verbalizing the feud at each other.
And then they become allies later in the game.
Yeah, they're the last two orange standing. It's hilarious.
Yes, it's a beautiful thing. But yeah, Mel thinks it's Joseph that voted for her last tribal, and Anna's like,
super giggly about it. It's so funny.
She loves it.
Yeah.
Mel's been Space Jam.
Yeah, and this is where Mel finds the love rocks. She finds the first round. She finds it with Anna and Joseph. They only mentioned 3 of them being found, so I think maybe they left the other one there. And
I think they removed one. They removed one because they booted somebody.
Oh, okay. Exactly. Makes sense. Yeah. Makes sense. There's the lovely little montage of Joseph telling his story, and it's giving coach, and it's I love when the fact that they montage. Oh, Haley found the 4th one.
It wasn't with the other 3? I don't know.
Was not shown. Mel dragged me over hopping to the tree. Good job, Mel. Yeah, and then that's when we sorry?
Mel just could have brought it to it.
Yeah, could have. And this is where we find out about Haley's injury. She talks a little bit about how she injured it beforehand, but thinks she rolled it again during the first challenge. And it's gone from the first 2 episodes, I don't think you really notice her limping or anything. And then suddenly it's strapped. She can't put any weight on it. So I think she probably sat down for a bit. And then, when you hurt yourself, it's like, it's fine. And then you get cold and it's like, oh, shit, now I can't. So,
I don't hear. Is it bad that I compared the severity of this to Altus? I was just like, yeah, that's fine. She didn't fall off a motorbike. She take it off. And then my next note is, and then she's crying. Now I feel bad. I was just I paused it and was like, it's not Altus pain. We'll be fine. And then the next confessional, she was crying, and I was like, oh, now I feel bad for having a really snarky thought.
I think the best part about that is the fact that you felt the need to share that.
Yeah.
You had an intrusive thought and told us about it.
Yeah.
You basically went, harden up, Haley. It's not that bad.
Altus was given his drugs and was hopped up on goofballs, unlike the infamous Johnny Fairplay, who was not given his drugs for his pre-existing injury. So that was one difference. Look, I played with an injury too. I think if Haley was sucking it up, what are you talking about? She doesn't quit. She keeps going. She is sucking it up.
Yeah, no,
she wasn't. I changed my mind about it. It was like a flash thought, and then I was like, oh no, that actually was bad.
I wonder if production, and ask them when we catch up with them. I wonder if they thought about pulling her from the game, the way they strapped it and the way she was moving around,
she wasn't in danger of they're not going to pull her for something like that. She's
not
going to.
It's an endurance thing.
Dan isn't a doctor.
No, I know, but she sits out of the next challenge, and I think they're just expecting her to get voted out anyway.
She can barely walk. I would just say, as a lawyer, I'm saying that production has some responsibility to pull a player out when they think their injury is too much, because most people won't pull themselves.
They didn't pull Missy with a fucking broken leg.
Who? In what?
In San Juan del Sur.
Yeah, but they have a doctor there who can come out and look at it and go, yeah, it's fine. They have no doctor to make a call on whether this is worth doing or not. So you should just pull them.
Well, maybe that's why they included the thing about her saying it was a previous injury, so that gets rid of any liability. She didn't hurt herself there. It just made it worse. We signed strong waivers. Member production covered their
And then
asses.
I can tell this isn't production covered their And then
asses.
I can tell this isn't legal advice, but I can tell you those waivers aren't worth fucking shit. It's just like when you get on a show ride and it says ride at your own risk, mate. If that ride has a problem, you can sue the shit out of them. It doesn't matter. You can't contract out of negligence.
Yes, but they
That's my
can
legal advice for the day.
waive liability by saying, "Oh yeah, I injured myself before we got here." This Canberra
cannot
survivor is not responsible for
contract-
injury.
You cannot contract out of negligence. Straight up. There's your legal advice for the day.
I think that's all I have from before we actually get to tribal. Anna publicly votes for Mel, as I said, and then Joseph is voted out 5-4-1. To think if he had voted for Mel, we could have had a tie. I think he would have gone on the revote, but still.
Does she
Would
get
Mel
the 3 votes?
penalty votes carry
the
over
revote?
to a revote?
Yeah, it's my question. I don't know. There's too many mechanics in this season. This is the problem. It's a bit. I found the tribals really unengaging because it's just too much shit going on.
Yeah.
Oh, the orca's here. With an orca-like comment.
Haley's like plenty of time to
That's
rest.
probably when it's worse. She was probably fine until she sat there listening to Joseph for that long, and then it seized up, and that's when she went, "Oh, now I'm in pain."
Does anyone watch What We Do in the Shadows with Colin Robinson?
Mm-hmm.
Is that the vibe that we're getting from this?
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
Anyone who's watched What We Do in the Shadows, they know what I'm talking about.
I've watched it. All I'm thinking of is shame, 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 shame.
Colin Robinson's the emotional vampire they live with.
It's been a minute since I've seen it.
Okay. Anyway, we're on to episode 4. Sophie has found the love rocks and she has difficulty determining what to do with it. Am I going to expose all my relationships? You know, very new to Survivor. I don't know if you know this, but Sophie wasn't that knowledgeable about Survivor going into the game. She doesn't tell us that much during the season.
But she
So I don't know if you're aware of that as yet. And she's not sure how to do with this love rocks issue. And she decides to take one, and then she says the other one is down there. I like that. That's a good play. Don't
like
show
that
you
too.
cards. Very smart, Sophie. Haley is emotionally struggling with the injury. She's happy she can get a vote, but also, what the fuck? She is confused about how good she's playing this game because she basically cannot move and she still didn't get a single vote. Considering votes are going everywhere in all these tribals, like, she is baffled. I get it. I think she's like, I must be the greatest Survivor player that's ever lived. Meanwhile, the Orca is happy that Sketchy Joe is gone, and then he gives us another Apex Predator confessional where he describes himself as head of the pod and describes Simon and Haley as the plankton. They're not even the sharks now; they're just the plankton, just hovering around his Orca.
You can't say plankton without putting on a Kiwi accent.
Why? What?
Plankton.
Plankton.
Is the
Plankton.
beach? Well, never mind. It's an old thing.
We're doing a lot of pop culture references today, and they're not like syncing up. I don't really know why Orange aren't looking for their lava rocks. They're not looking enough. Maybe it's just not being shown.
They're too busy going on a tribal.
Well, they could be looking right now. Like, they was a basically unanimous vote on Joseph.
Well, Haley's
and
not
then
looking.
Colin-
Bad leaving Haley by herself to like sit around because she can't walk.
Then Connors. Then the purple are doing the rocks, and there's like rocks
He
as a
gets
paper thing.
it.
Okay, cool. She got it. Well done. Sophie's there to back you up. I like how Connor's still there for the love rocks thing, and I wonder what he's thinking about this shit. Like, what is this shit? Like, what's going on? And they do rock, scissors, papers. Rock, scissors, papers is the way to go. Michael wins. He gets the rock.
Scissors, paper.
Yeah, I say
No
rock,
one says
scissors,
it in
paper.
that order.
If
No one
you
says
say
paper
rock,
last.
scissors, paper, let us know in the comments.
It's rock, paper, scissors.
Scissors,
say
paper,
rock,
rock.
It's not paper last. We know that.
All three of us have a different view on this. Danny's is
We're
the
all
most
from different
crazy.
states.
Danny's is
Scissors, paper,
definitely
rock.
crazy. Rock, paper, scissors.
Oh, this will come up in Melbourne too. I remember, Melbourne 4, because I remember doing this against Victorians and them being like, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm
wants
like,
scissors, paper, rock.
Scissors, paper,
Nah, it's the
rock.
wrong-
Exactly. It's scissors, paper, rock.
Scissors,
Rock, paper,
paper, rock is Scissors, paper, rock is the equivalent of year, month, date. Like you're in fucking America. It's nuts.
I know.
It's the wrong way around. In every possible way.
Paper, rock.
Small, next, largest. That's the order
No.
of things.
No.
But it's not paper last. That's the one thing I'll say.
Yeah, we're in agreement on that.
Paper's always in the middle.
I think this was a fine way of doing it. I don't know what production expected them to do otherwise. And now he gets I'm jumping a bit, but he gets the legacy idol. And then he makes a mistake, I feel, where he says he doesn't want to tell people that you can give it away, that you can bequeath it if you get voted out. But he tells people it's a fucking legacy advantage. I'm like, but I can't transfer it, he says. Bullshit, mate. You just called it a legacy advantage. Everyone knows that legacy advantages are transferable. The only people who buying your shit are Sophie and Joe, who've never watched an episode of Survivor.
Thank you, James. Yeah, the ORCA agrees with me.
No, I'm rock, paper, scissors.
I said
I'm
rock, paper, scissors. You said paper at the end.
You rock, scissors, paper. Yeah.
Let's know.
No,
You
so far,
clearly eat pizza with
so
How do you eat it, James? With your hands?
Yes.
It's a Seinfeld reference.
I like it.
Okay, so I feel like Michael didn't do a great job of pretending he had something other than a legacy advantage. I get the risk, but also like I've stood by this in the past. We talked about legacy advantages on another season.
We debate this all the time.
I don't actually think they're that big of a deal because if you fucking vote me out, I'm not giving it to you. I'm giving it to somebody else. So I'm not really that worried about people knowing I've got it. But you know, he should have just said it was an idol, like or it's normal idol, whatever. If you want to hide the legacy. Ma doesn't think that Mao is vibing with her yet. He's obviously actually with her. And she didn't like how Mao called out that Ma had chosen Simon. Like, so that was in the prior one when they like, who are we picking? Mao said Ma sort of picked Simon. Like he threw her out as like, she's the boss and that's her choice. And I think Mao was just being conversational. Ma does not like it. She does not like Malcolm, who's out to get her. He's out maneuvering her. And then I'm like, Mao has a core 4 with Ma, but he can't remember her name. But he's got a core 4 with it. Banfield wants to bond with Mao.
Is that core 4? Is it actually a core 4 or is it a core 3 plus Mao?
But Mao thinks it's a core 4.
Yeah.
But it's not.
But that's what I was saying. But he can't remember part of his core 4's name.
Yeah. He also thinks Joe's in the core 4, right? Not Sophie. He thinks it's him.
Yes.
Or is Nick not in it? Someone's not in it.
No,
Nick's definitely in it.
No, I think
I think Joe's in it, not Sophie in his opinion.
Yeah, his 4 is different.
Banfield wants to bond with Mao, which he likes because Banfield and Mao likes Banfield because he works in the same field as his daughter just started. And I'm like, did your daughter just become a car salesman? Like, I was a bit confused about this, but I assume Banfield wasn't telling people he was a car salesman. So what was Banfield saying he was doing that Mao liked that isn't actually what Banfield was doing? I don't know. Tell us in the comments. Ma is telling everyone that she's got the steal vote and she can use it as well. I think this is actually quite smart. Everyone knows you're getting advantages from the thing now. Yeah. And it's like, I took a steal vote, and when we swap, I'll be able to engineering stuff. There we go.
Yeah. And a steal vote is not that threatening.
No, it's good. And
so
you absolutely can use it. If I'm on a tribe and they say I've got a steal vote and we'll use it as a swap, I'll be like, absolutely, perfect, love it. You know, like, yeah, it's going to be really useful. Now they do. There's too much food in these rewards. I feel like it's because they're having the cupcakes. I don't know. Now challenge is hot pursuit. I love hot pursuit, by the way.
I love hot pursuit.
It's my favorite Survivor challenge. They've each got a 4-kilogram bag. I think that's reasonably light, but I think appropriate. And
I think it's a good amount because on its own, it's not that cumbersome, but it's when you start getting multiples that it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Now, Ma's penalty for the sacrifice is they have to start 5 meters behind. That is nothing. Can we be clear here? That is
how big
nothing.
was the course? It's
It was
like
reasonably big.
pretty decent.
No, it's reasonably
like 5
big.
meters.
I think the penalty
Make
should
that
have been her tribe had an extra bag.
Yeah.
That's a fucking penalty.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
5 meters? Who cares? Now,
I mean, extra weight could have
I-
been one of the things to like in the draw. She just pulled out.
Sophie says, "Thank God we had to sit someone out."
because did Sophie sit out of this? Sophie wouldn't be a
sat out.
fan, she
Yeah.
says. But he's in the comments, and I have to say it was. I love Hot Pursuit. I love it when it's epic, and James was particularly great in it.
Yeah. For a while,
you know,
it was James and Simon just like kicking everyone's ass, and then Simon couldn't get the last bag off, so I think that's the reason they lost.
Yeah, I
James-
note here. I'm like
James-
Simon really fucks Wolf up at the end of this challenge
Yeah.
by not continuing to run while getting the bag
Yeah,
off.
he's just
Like he just stops dead cold.
Because
I was like,
he tried.
"Man, you motherfucker!"
He gave them all over, and I think he thought he'd given the last one. He didn't realize he still had one on his back. And then,
I
he
reckon-
just stops. And Wolfie's already like a mile ahead. He has to like come back and get it. And then they're just like,
I reckon Wolf would have had a crack, to be honest, at going for it. Now, on the other side, they were doing very well. Nick was strong. John was very strong. I think John's still there at the end, isn't he? I think Mar's still there at the end.
Yeah,
Mark's still there at the end.
And Banfield. I think it's all four of them are still there.
Yeah. I think it's only Sophie sat out and then Joe dropped out.
Oh,
Pretty much, pretty quickly. Yeah. And then the four of them keep it going. Oh, where's Michael? He's dropped out. Where's Michael there?
No, I think Michael's still there.
no, I've got a note here. Haley and Soph sit out. Mel drops first, then Mal, and then John drops. So no, John's not at the end.
Oh, so it's Banfield, Michael, Mar, and Nick at the end.
Yeah.
Good on them. I feel like...
Yeah, John was on Win You, not...
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'm getting myself confused. It was the four of them. I feel like... I don't know. Is this pretty balanced? I think it's pretty balanced. I feel like the Purple Tribe is always going to be better at this.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to I'm thinking of like if we're going to match them all up 1v1, like if you've got Nick versus Wolf, that's they're pretty even. And then I think where you might go wrong is you've got Simon and Mal as like the quote unquote older men, but I think there's a bit of a difference in fitness level there.
Anyway,
And
love it. It's a great challenge.
Like production couldn't work around the fact that Haley had to sit out from the jump.
Yeah. But again, there's more confusing shit happening. She's sitting out. Did they have to take extra weight for her? I think they did. But then Sophie's sitting out. It's all very confusing. Like, who's got Sophie's weight? Like, I'm very confused about all the fucking like twists that are going on in any of these things, and it makes it hard to engage. Now
that's exactly what I was talking about.
Joe celebrates their victory. She quite strongly says we came first, even though she dropped out basically immediately.
Hey, that's like me saying we won when Carlton wins a footy game. Like, we won. I didn't play, but it's still we. It's my team.
No, that's like saying you got to the grand final and had one touch and said we won. Players don't feel good about that.
It's one team.
Sophie can say we won because Sophie wasn't allowed to participate in the challenge.
That's fair.
Look, she wasn't on Jake from yards apart level of celebrating success when she immediately dropped out, but it was still there, and I enjoy it nonetheless. Yeah, it's nice to see Joe have a moment for herself. Okay, so they had the extra.
Yeah.
Sophie wasn't sitting out yet because of her advantage, but now she goes to the ultimate sacrifice where she will get the sit out advantage. She goes with Haley. The Kubadang very smartly pick Haley because they think that she's obviously on the chopping block, so if they get her an advantage, that might disrupt their tribe. But Haley is smart enough to say, I'm in enough trouble as it is. Even though, is she really? Like, she's in a good spot. But she's sort of covering that.
It feels that way, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's just covering it very well with Sophie by saying, I'm in trouble, which I don't know if she is, so I don't want the advantage. Making herself look in a very strong position, even though the advantage could have helped her, but she doesn't really need it. Plus, all the good advantages are sort of gone anyway. So Sophie takes the advantage, and she goes for the expiring idol. And then Dan says it's still on the table, and then I'm like, is there a risk if you take something that's taken? We need more information. This mechanic
I think if you tried to take something that was gone, you got told, sorry, choose again.
That expiring idol could have really helped Haley, to be honest. We should have taken that, Haley. We wanted you at the merge. That could have been interesting. Then Soph's story is that her advantage is Haley got an advantage that makes people sit out. I'm like, but what? What?
I know. I was like,
everyone has, or not everyone, but a lot of people have seen that menu already. They don't. Yeah. They know that there's nothing there that says that the orange team get a challenge advantage.
So I'm not talking about it. Move on, people.
Look, you're about to get
nonsensical. It was like a horrible lie. It makes no sense.
Terrible.
So if you feel free to be a guest when Melbourne 4 comes on and you can talk shit about me, I'll allow it.
Yeah, but this was nonsensical, Sophie. No one would believe that. People have seen the list. Simon thinks I've got to boot Haley because Simon is an old man who can't see the strategy in anything else. And they're all sitting ducks. But he's sad because he's had a great alliance with Haley from day one.
That has everyone.
I guess from Simon's point of view, she was a young woman and he was allied with all the young women.
Here we go. Haley says, so my thinking was I did genuinely think I was in a lot of trouble and I found it more important to have extra time to actually try to rally myself numbers and survive. And I thought all the penalties were as bad as Mel's penalty votes.
That is the time thing. I'll pay that.
Why did
Obviously,
you think?
if I get an idol for just sitting out of a challenge, I would have gone. But she would have had to sit out anyway, so no one would have known that was her penalty.
But Haley, they're not all that bad because Anna has the public votes, which wouldn't really matter in your circumstance.
Yeah, here we go. People only saw the advantages, not the sacrifices.
Yep.
Yeah, but they knew that the other tribe wasn't going to get a challenge advantage.
Yeah.
That wasn't on the list.
So Haley had to make a sacrifice. Her sacrifice was choosing that someone from purple had to sit out of a challenge.
It's an advantage.
Look, she probably had about 2 seconds to make this decision on what she was going to tell people, but it's just.
John's focus is now on a swap, which makes a lot of sense. And if you knew there wasn't a swap, I reckon if you knew there wasn't a swap, you boot Haley here. I think they just want to. They trust Haley more than Simon, and if there wasn't, if they know there's not a swap, I think that they boot Haley. I think they would think more about winning a challenge than they do about we're going to swap. Definitely going to swap. John's certain about it. The numbers are there. Blah blah blah.
Oh, I would be too at this point in time. I'd be so sure a swap's coming.
It's like, well, hang on. After this, we're going to be down to 12 people. Definitely going to swap.
Yeah. And James Wolf has the same view, and they're absolutely right. But so I think it makes sense why they keep Haley. Mel doesn't know Anna's name, but Anna does know Mel's name because it's the only person she ever votes for. It's the only name she knows.
It'll be their third tribal. No, this is their. Yeah, this will be their third tribal, and the third time she's voted for Mel.
And then the game, Big Brain John, Triple H is over there. Correctly sussing out that Simon doesn't have an advantage because Mars got the advantage because Purple had the penalty. You see, he's understanding the mechanics, even though he's never fucking been to the Ultimate Sacrifice, because John is a very, very savvy player, especially when it comes to
super
mechanics.
Analytical. Yep.
Yeah, and he's fully across that Simon's got Jack because he's read the tea leaves. Very smart by John. And then Simon leans in and perhaps seals his death warrant. I don't know. And he's like, to Mel that
this is the only vote in the pre-merge where Anna doesn't vote for Mel.
Simon leans in and says, you got a little secret up your sleeve, that's going to help us. And Mel's like, what secret? And he's like, I've been to the Ultimate Sacrifice. I know what's on there. He's like, well, I don't know what you're talking about. It's like 3 votes. It's a big penalty. It hasn't gone unnoticed. And Mel's like, I could get this motherfucker out. He thinks he's building a bond here with her. That I know about your advantage and we can use that together. But it's just like, I was like, nah, too smart. See you later.
Nope.
Yeah. You'd I get what he's trying to do, but it needed to be more of, look, you've had a lot of penalty votes. I feel like you've probably got something good, but that's great because I trust you and I want to work with you. And I don't think anyone is sus of you because it was, something like that. Like, don't be like,
Like I figured it out, but no one else knows. So that's great. So you and I can keep this under wraps. Like, how good that you kept this. Like, so that's awesome. Like, what else could we do together?
She wasn't buying it.
Nope. I wouldn't either. I'd be like,
I don't think Simon's skills laid in analyzing a particular person and thinking the best strategy for that person is this approach. Simon has one approach.
I'm sorry, what person was that the best strategy for?
I don't know. That's just the one strategy he has.
No kind of person that was a good strategy.
Yeah. Where the thing, Simon gets all the votes. Hayley looks absolutely fucking shocked, like literally shocked. And, I know she's injured, but I don't like fucking sunglasses. I certainly don't like how she gets a fucking umbrella. Like, if she's too injured to be in the game that she needs a freaking umbrella, then she can quit the game. No umbrellas. I don't care. What the fuck? No umbrellas.
Wow.
No umbrellas.
Let's see what she's going to say about that.
At least I said I felt bad for her.
Yeah.
If you want to get out of the rain, you can quit the game. No umbrella.
They all get umbrellas as the day goes on. Everybody gets covered with umbrellas.
I don't really like that either, but one singular person having an umbrella, no. Either everyone or not.
Wait, so you think they should have pulled her from the game from an ankle injury, but risking pneumonia, that's fine.
I'm saying, what? I'm saying there's no reason for her to have an umbrella when no one else has an umbrella.
Ah. Okay.
Presumably it's because she's injured, but if she's injured enough for an umbrella, then she's injured enough to not be there. No special treatment. That's what I'm saying. No special treatment. You're either in or you're out.
Okay, fair. No, I do.
Mal's with me. That's right, Mal.
Yeah, that checks.
That tracks. It does track.
That tracks. I was like, no, fuck it. Rain.
Yeah. All right.
Mel's there getting the hose out and spraying people with it to make it rain.
This is tracking to be our longest podcast ever, so let's keep rolling on.
Yeah, look, it will be
5 when we're an hour 45.
You should. I've got so many pages of notes for episode 6. Like, yeah.
Oh god.
Soph's firing shots.
Sophie's clapping back.
I'm dead at the thumbnail of this episode being Ma gagging. Like, I think it's the best thumbnail.
I made that the trivia question.
Yeah, so good. Episode title, I think I'm going to throw up. This is where Sophie starts to take aim at Michael because she wants to split Nick and Michael up because Nick is her number one and she doesn't want anyone else to get in between. Mal doesn't remember anyone's name. His confessional, he can't tell you who anybody's name is. He doesn't, particularly Ma, just can't get it down.
So what's Malcolm like at the school? Where he's the principal? Like, does he remember the kids' names? Like, hey buddy, what's going on?
He's
like,
the principal. I guarantee you that when a set of siblings comes to the school, he calls them both by the older sibling's name. And as a younger sibling, I can tell you that's annoying as fuck. But anyway.
Saying, you think you'd be better with names. Anyway. Sorry, Danny.
There we go. The Banfield name saga continues here. Like, this is where we get the Bradley that comes into it. Blake Bradley Banfield. What's his name? And I just note here, survivor paranoia is real. You just takes the one littlest tiny thing in this sort of a thing and you just fucking run with it. If he's lying about his name, what else is he lying about? Like,
where does the Bradley come from?
He says it in a confessional. Like, he talks about
his
Bradley being his middle name and it's his grandfather's name.
Yeah, who did he tell in the tribe that his name was Bradley?
I don't know. I don't think anyone else says Bradley, but Banfield talks about his name being an issue in the confessional. Then we get a cute little ode to Banfield. Pardon?
It only gets worse from here, even though we don't see that footage. Well, I'll talk about it when we get to it.
Cute little ode to Banfield's grandfather here. The tribute for this episode was to his grandfather too, which I thought was super sweet. Back at Winu, Mel is worried about being on the wrong side of the vote in the last vote, and becomes very wary of Wolf. Continue the Amy Anna name confusion. And I'm noting here the rain is really coming down now. Like, I'm really starting to notice the rain in this particular episode. Anna has no interest in voting out Hayley because of her injury, and Wolf thinks he is in control, and Hayley is still in shock that she's being kept around. And this is where Anna, I mean, she's been taking aim at Mel the whole time, but I think she really is trying to get numbers against her now. It's not necessarily it's like one random vote. She's actively trying to rally people to get Mel. Back to Purple, there's a fun little group chat about Mel's age. I don't know why Mel prompted that conversation about guess how old I am. I think that's only going to be cause for pain. Like being like, guess how old I am. 48 at the time, for reference. And then I have a fun
playing that game. Everyone else, you have to take how old you think she is, and then you have to take off a good few years there as well. Not too many, so that it looks obvious. Yeah, you have to take a few off.
No,
I'm very good at guessing people's ages. I do this at the poker table to try and lighten the mood and make the table more of a fun table because you can actually see people's personalities and you can read them better. And I play a game where I will say I can guess people's ages plus or minus 1 year. And I can pretty much do it with any stranger, plus or minus 1 year. Except with women, I always just discount 5 years off what I think anyway, because it's not worth getting it right. Get it wrong.
That's polite.
Yeah, that's very polite. Well done. And then, this is where we get the more like lose you, because Mouse blacks the camera because he's eating his muffin and he says, win you, this is for you. And Benford goes, more like lose you. That was comical. You see Nick, Soph, and Ma kind of solidify their 3 here. Nick's taking aim at Jo next because she's such a wild. Because she was willing to go against him in the last vote. I'm trying to read my own handwriting.
He just wants her gone because she voted for him. Like
correct, exactly. He's just like, she voted for me. She's not with me. She needs to go.
Fair enough.
Nick takes the skull off the flag because he thinks it might be something. I don't think anything really comes of this, but you see the propped up on the screen, just a prop up on the
But then they went, good idea for next season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they were like, whoa. I've got another note here about the rain. I think it's really starting to impact like confessionals. I'm trying to I was really struggling to hear at this point as to what people were saying and what they were doing because the rain was just taking over. And then we have the eating challenge, and everything here is just horrendous.
I don't know what dried arrowroot tastes like, but it didn't look nice.
No.
I think this is one of the better. This is one of the better gross eating challenges.
Yes, I agree with you. In terms of you're very culturally sensitive. Yes, that's right. It is very culturally sensitive.
Except for the centurion egg, but I reckon people is it from China? Wherever it's from would probably not want to eat that thing either. Like it.
Yeah, absolutely.
100-year-old egg. That's going to be expensive, right? Like, where are people storing these eggs for 100 years? It's like storing wine bottles. Like, there's a lot of cost in that.
It tasted
like glue.
With the arrowroot,
The arrowroot, I think.
Okay. All right. Jo is unable to compete, so I don't know if she has like dietary requirements or is vegan or vegetarian, so I don't know. She's just unable to compete in the challenge. And then
no special fucking treatment on some of these other LLFGs. It's like, oh, gonna accommodate your need. No, you can't eat it, don't eat it. Okay, Sydney.
and then she almost died.
I still think Eli was only accommodating it because it was Christy. I think anyone else he would have told to take a hike.
Yeah, absolutely. And then she almost choked on a muesli bar playing me. So it didn't end up well for anybody, regardless. And then the ultimate sacrifice means Sophie has to sit out also. Find out we're playing for a double tribal council, playing for individual immunity, but just one. So not 2 across both, but just 1 for 1. Which I think I like that mechanic. The only one.
Yeah. I like it too. I think they would have probably preferred someone from Purple to win because they have more numbers. I think that's the reason they do it because it's a bit harsh on a tribe of 5 to have one person immune. That's 20% of the tribe.
No, for sure. And I mean, we see that mechanic play out at tribal because everyone's trying to figure out who the numbers should go to.
Yeah, it would only be interesting if Banfield won the immunity though, and he wasn't really in it.
Yeah, that's true. I think Jo goes then.
Yeah,
probably, but that's actually somewhat interesting. It's a somewhat interesting vote, but I don't think Banfield was ever a chance for an immunity, so it didn't really matter.
No. So dried arrowroot, Mal goes out, and then Anna, because Anna won, she gets to eliminate Wolf. Sardines, Banfield and John are out. Oysters in jelly, that set me off. I just couldn't. Haley is out, and then Ma eliminates Nick, and then we get fish eyes. Mel drops out, and then after she dropped it in the, she like, or was it the oysters in jelly? Mel drops on the ground, and
I think it was the oysters because it looked like it was just the jelly that she picked up.
Yeah. Fish eyes, and then the centurion egg, and then
Anna is just a champion at this shit. She doesn't.
Anna was incredible. I could not
There's some people who can eat anything and they're fine, and I guarantee you she's one of those people. Probably one of those people that put like a dollop of wasabi on her sushi as well. Like, just you can't eat anything and will.
Yeah.
Critical community because their tribe is fucked up. It's just a messed up situation with the amount of advantages and the amount of people and everything that's going on. And they talk about later when they're trying to do the numbers on this. It's like it's messy numbers. So good to have her. She could have gone. Like there's a potential that she. I'm not saying she will, but anyone could go at that tribal council.
Yeah. The only person who's not going is Mel.
It would have been good if Haley won the immunity because ultimately why they settle on Haley just makes perfect sense because they're merging and she's just too much of a threat to them on a merge. She's not getting voted out; they're getting voted out. Blah blah blah. Yeah,
for sure. And I just know how like Ma's gagging set me off. Like I was gagging watching Ma gag. I couldn't. It was all just gross. Anna chooses Mal for the ultimate sacrifice, and he takes Wolf.
And the footage is never seen. The
footage is never seen. We get Mal's take about what happened. But
so there was the thing, right? Like I have to go back to my memory on this because we got to the bottom of it in the real time.
I assume they lost that footage.
No, it's more about the Banfield stuff and Wolf's relationship with Banfield, and there's a discussion about it, about the relationship. I think Mal quizzes him on it, and that gives more information to the Purples about Wolf's relationship in the past with Banfield, which pretty much dooms Banfield, which is fine. But the controversy, I think it might have got lost. I don't know why they didn't show it. But then there was rumors that started. I think the footage did get lost. But then rumors began that Wolf had been like quite mean or said lots of negative shit. That James said lots of really nasty shit about Banfield. Mal is on the record as saying, Mal's on the record saying that didn't happen. He was there. He's the witness. He has no reason to lie about it. So, we determined, our investigative journalists determined that Wolf was in the clear for this situation. But it caused quite a lot of controversy behind the scenes at the time of airing and perhaps before because there was significant issues here. And I think all James must have said is a bit more information about the relationship between James and Banfield, which Banfield hadn't been fully upfront about, because when you get to the final tribal, I believe Joe talks about or someone talks about having to vote out Banfield because he was too close to James, and that was like a risk that he would hook up with James at the merge. Like someone says that here or later on, I can't remember. But clearly there's an information train that comes here that really dooms Banfield. So like I'm not saying he wasn't going anyway, but a combo of James and anyone was a bad outcome for him because it allowed for more for James to be, and James is being more honest about what maybe he told Malcolm about the podcast. I can't remember. But he's been more upfront than Banfield has been during the game, which is pretty damning for Banfield at that point.
Right. Okay. All right.
I mean, I think that's Survivor 101, LRG 101. If you come into a game and there's someone that shut up. Unless you're forced to reveal your connections. And even then, you just, I sort of know this person. Don't be going on about how close to someone outside the game because that paints a target.
Well, James wasn't worried about it.
No, he should have been though.
Okay, according to Malcolm, they never chatted Banfield.
Okay.
Well, someone in the game says about Banfield's relationship with James, and it never really gets explained why they're going on about that.
I mean, it might be
Just
that
the Blake thing.
the Blake thing, and then they maybe don't believe Banfield's story that, oh yeah, I only sort of know, like maybe they thought they were closer than they were.
Well, they were. That was bullshit.
Yeah.
They used to be friends. They're not friends anymore.
Anyway, let's move on.
I don't agree with you, George. If you know people and you think people are onto it, the best thing you should be is honest. The most thing you should be is honest about these things, because if you lie about it and then someone else says something different, you're fucked. You're better off just being upfront. But yeah, I know that person, but I hate them.
I don't know. If I end up in a game with one of you two and other people don't know who we are, I am lying about it.
But what if someone does know? Then you're fucked. You don't know what people know. We've podcasted.
I'm imagining a scenario where this isn't a podcast.
There's no scenario where the three of us end up in a game and people don't know that we know each other. I'm sorry. It's just no possible scenario.
It's an alternate universe, all right?
I think Soph agrees.
It's like if you played before and trying to say you haven't played before. Like if someone has watched you, like
then I'd go the other way and be like, actually, I do know Dani really well, and I would really love to snatch her wig. Like, just let me vote her out, please.
Yeah, that's what you got to go for.
Yeah. You're like, I know them. We're great friends. I'm happy to vote them out.
You said I can't trust it. I know she'll cut me when she has to. She's going to
vote me out. It's going to be who cuts who first.
Yeah.
Like you say, my preference is we're different tribes. My preference, she gets voted out before we even come together. And then I have to deal with this shit. But if we're together, I'd go and take her out.
I don't want her blood on my hands, but I'll get it there.
Yeah.
If I have to do it, she'll get me first.
You better for that. Respect the move.
And people are like, ooh, this is already a shit fight. I can get in on this. Which is honestly, I don't think James and Banfield were going to be like riding off to the sunset together should they have met at Merch. So, like.
And I think when you come across this scenario with two people that know each other, like I would always view it as, okay, this is a possible way to connect with someone from the other tribe. Because you're not going to see someone who's in a good spot completely abandon their game to go and join up with their friend. Like people aren't going to do that. We didn't see Ma sacrifice her game so that she could work with John. She would have liked to work with him if she could, but ultimately she knew she had to write his name down. So I think it's not as big of a deal as people think it might be. This comes up in orgs a lot. Like, oh, these two are really good friends. I'm like, okay, cool.
All right, so we get the confessionals from Mal about, he says Wolf gave him a lot of information about Winyu. So again, that information swapping at the Ultimate Sacrifice continues. Mal chooses. What?
So I was just saying, Sophie agrees with me that you should be quiet about these things.
You can only be quiet about it if you can be 100% certain that nobody knows about it. If you are even a little bit uncertain, you need to be upfront, because if you're caught, then you're fucked. And your game is sunk.
Mal chooses safety without power, and he must publicly vote, which he's not happy about. Back at camp, everyone is feeling very unwell after the challenge. No one's tummy is agreeing with them after the bad eating. And Anna is doubling down on wanting to flush Mel's super idol. That's all she wants to do. She won't hear any other plans. Must flush Mel's super idol.
And she's like coming up with, okay, we put 3 votes on Mel. Mel votes for this person. Mel votes for Haley, and then we throw 1 more vote on Haley, and we get Haley out, but we get rid of Mel's idol. And it's like, I get where she's coming from, like wanting to get it out, and this is a good plan in theory. But if you are John or James, like, you know that it could come back onto you. So you'd rather go, like, in a tribe of 5, I ain't flushing a super idol.
I don't actually think it's even a good plan. Like, you guys are down on numbers. You need that super idol at merge.
Yeah.
Like, this is the point where Mel should be like, hey, just so you know, like, in case you didn't, I've got the super idol. If you vote for me, I'm going to use it, but that's pointless. Keep me in. We're going to use this as a tribe because we're down on numbers going into the merge. Like, that's what Mel she doesn't do that, but that's what she should have done, because that's all it's worth at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the numbers go back and forth here. Everyone's trying to figure out who the numbers are, who's going, do they prefer?
They're
who,
all
and
pointing
kind
at
of,
each other.
yeah, and then it's kind of, and then it goes down to a Hayley versus Wolf situation. Who do we trust more at merge? Like, it's kind of like shield versus wild card. Like, is he going to be a shield for us at merge, or is he too much of a wild card to flip on us? Scenario. And Hayley is praying to all the deities to keep her safe. Banfield hated that challenge. Joe is really bitter that they lost the challenge, that they didn't lose the challenge, but they're still losing a player. She's really not happy that they won, but they're still having to lose.
How it works.
Correct. And then in my head, I was like,
she's supposed to game end at final 7, and they all go home with wins.
Yeah, everybody wins. Banfield calls Joe a liability. Michael tells the tribe about his legacy advantage, so he must tell everybody here. And Joe has a confessional where she kind of says, like she's gonna try to get him to play it on her because she helped him get it.
How a legacy advantage works.
No.
Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, and then I'm really struggling with the confessionals here because the rain is just crazy. Nick tells Mal. So I think because Mal's going to publicly vote, so Nick tells Mal that he should tell that person who he's going to vote for before he does it.
Yeah.
It's trying to be like the tribal council. Anna votes for Mel publicly. Then Hayley goes home in a 3-1-1 vote. Then Purple's tribal council, you see Banfield call himself a challenge threat and kind of say that he's like shooting him, like digging his own grave, sort of a thing. And then Michael. Well, then we have Michael respectfully disagree, like saying he was terrible in there. Like, so I thought that was quite funny. Bev was very much talking himself up, and Michael's like, "No, I don't agree with you. Like, you were terrible in this, this, and this."
Why is he talking about himself up here? This is the time to talk himself down.
Yeah,
I'm bad at challenges.
I don't know. He was really pumping himself up here, and I was like, "What are we doing?"
You're in the merge. You want to be seen as bad at challenges, not good at challenges anymore.
Yeah, I've got a note here. We needed more lighting at Tribal Council because it was getting too dark. I couldn't see Dan and Liv like in the darkness. Mal publicly votes for Joe, and Banfield goes home 4-2. But I mean, we knew this whole episode that was the way that was going to go with the way this was edited, with the Banfield heaviness. That wasn't a shock.
I also think they did Hayley a favor by voting her out. Like, she didn't actually stay the night. Like, you know, her foot was probably screwed in the morning, probably swollen up. She needed to ice that thing. Like, it's time to go.
Yeah. That's it.
But also, it was the most strategically sensible move for the father.
Yes, I agree. Because like their whole reasoning of that Hayley would have just like gotten by is exactly right.
Yeah. Whereas
like worried about her winning a challenge.
Yeah. Whereas all eyes are on Wolf coming into.
They're on Wolf anyway. They're definitely on Wolf. And if the choice is Wolf and Hayley, then it's definitely keep Wolf. But I don't know if Hayley would have been the coast-on through that they were worried about. I think Ma would identify her very early as strategically strong. I don't think the fact she wasn't going to win would have saved her for too much longer once.
I mean, we only had 2 people win individual immunity the entire post-merge.
Yeah. So it wouldn't have mattered.
But we go into episode 6 and we are going to merge. It was a little bit before the merge though. There's like, so they all know merge is coming. And John talks about like, he doesn't mind going into the merge in a minority if it's a tight group and there's trust. He's like, but that's not what this is. Anna and Mel don't trust each other. There's a lot of like, this is not a tight 4 group. And so it's basically going to be everyone for themselves, which is exactly what happens.
John may or may not have seen this before.
John has seen this before, absolutely. Mel's upset that that Amy is targeting her for her idol, and she says exactly what we were saying, that it could be and it should be something that if they are a type 4, she could say, well, I can use this for us. One of us is not going home here. Like if in theory, if they go into that merge 6-4, it's their 4 votes. If they all vote together, in theory, that she should be able to save any one of them.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, and then we go over to Purple. Nick's feeling like he's in a good spot, but he doesn't think he wins at the end against Ma and Sophie. A little bit of foreshadowing. And so he's thinking he's probably going to flip at some point. all we really get before we get to the thing, and they do the fake out of like, drop your expectations. No, we're joking. We're merging. Wasn't cute. And they get croissants as the merge tribe feast, which, you know, we love that. They come up with the tribe name Eclipse. You know, that's fine. And then all hell breaks loose. It's chaos. All of the oranges are just throwing each other under the bus. That none of them are loyal to each other. They don't give a shit. There's a lot of speculating about advantages. Everyone knows about Mel's super idol and Anna's regular idol. It's like all the stuff's coming out, and there's a funny scene where like Joe's running up, guys, I've got information. So the challenge disadvantage we had came from someone on our side, and Mar's like, yeah, I told everyone like that, but that was from me, yeah. Like you knew that. I've got information. That was funny. But straight away, Wolfie is playing too hard, and everyone can see it, and he becomes public enemy number one very, very quickly. And all the talk is he can't win immunity. We want to vote him out. So of course he wins immunity.
Which is perfect. I love that in a merge though. Like,
yeah, it always happens.
The one thing that one people are going to be unanimous on, it breaks the game apart when you cannot vote for them. It forces you to go outside of the easy option. I love that in merge.
Yeah, I don't think we get advantage Geddon if James is
correct.
Able to.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Why did production feel? Obviously, Orange didn't finish their Love Rocks, so their legacy advantage never got handed out. And it's like, you know what? There just aren't enough advantages in this game.
Yeah.
Let's give it some of this challenge.
Found, oh, well, sucks to be the Orange tribe. Like,
why? Baffling.
Yeah.
Nick could have gone without that, I reckon.
Nick could have gone, yeah. We didn't get any votes, but I think because they knew we had it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Mel thinks he's fourth in his alliance with Sophie, Nick, and Ma, and he's ready to flip, but not right now, because that would be silly. So he's going to flip it a little bit, and he thinks he's being really sneaky, and then we get to, like, Ma and Sophie. Oh, so Mel's going to flip on us. Like, he's not with us. He's going to flip. And so they're trying to build some trust with John, and they all want to work with him. So we know that Ma knows him. Sorry.
John's locked in with Ma here, by the way.
Yeah. John's done.
Soph says that no one knew. So Ma's done.
But John has said to me, not only has he coming into this game on house money because he'd won, right?
Yeah.
Melbourne. So like he's feeling whatever I get, and he's a call up. That when he moved to Melbourne, Ma let him sleep on her couch for like a number of days, maybe weeks, I don't know. And he was never in any circumstance is going to write a name down. Like that's the circumstance he was in, right? Because not only were they friends, but she'd done him such a huge favor, but he'd also won. Like for him, it's like, you know, I'm not going to vote her out
last time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was not doing it again. So he is Mars. Like she loses him immediately, which is actually great because if he's there too long, it actually undermines her win a little bit because he is pretty much a gimme extra vote for her. But so him going right now is actually really good for her legacy. But if he'd stayed, he's rolling with them.
Yeah, but so the others aren't sure because obviously they don't know about their relationship. So Michael's talking about, well, we'll tell him to vote for Anna instead, and like that's not who we're really voting for. Mm-hmm. Mara and John came to Canberra together, stayed together the night before, and I don't think any of us knew. That's pretty good. Anna is worried. People are saying that she's the one with the super idol, so she gets her idol out and shows them the paperwork to be like, this is a regular idol. I don't have the super idol. It's just a normal one. Which, like, I think at this point, everyone knows that she's got something, so might as well, like, show them the receipt. And she already knows she's probably going to play it at the first merge vote, so why not? We go to the challenge and we get folklore. So they tell a story and they have to answer questions. The Purples plus John are all working together, trying to help each other out, but Wolfie still wins, which is like worst case scenario for everyone.
So he's the apex predator. Yeah. So he's the apex predator. Too fast, too smart.
Yeah. And the entire way through, Mel is carrying her bag because she doesn't want anyone to know about the super idol. Oh, that was like, why did they give her such a big prop? But yeah, she's
That's so crazy.
And Dan even commented on it, like, oh, Mel coming along and she still got her bag. Like, yeah. I don't know if they're allowed to go through each other's bags or what, but she could have just put her bag aside and put your jacket
It's
on
very
top of it.
easy on these things because they all give you the same bag, like a tote bag.
Yeah.
It's the same color. You're trying to find your
someone's
bag.
and be like, oh, I thought that was my bag.
It happens all the time. Not even trying to do it deliberately. You're just trying to find your bag. So,
Mel thought I was going to go through her bag.
Mel thought Sophie was going to go through it. Sophie would never.
I think Sophie would now, but back then Sophie played this game.
Again, another two ladies here from this. I really want to see play again. Soph and Hayley.
I would like to see Sophie play again. Hayley for sure, but yeah, I think Sophie would be a very different player now. She's obviously stronger physically, but I would also like to. I think she'd just be a much better player, be a bit more savvy.
I reckon she'd be so savage,
more aware.
Strategic.
Yeah. So Wolfie gets to pick someone to go to the sacrifice zone. He picks Anna, which is going to cause some.
This is going to be my last complaint about the ultimate sacrifice. Why the fuck is there an ultimate sacrifice after merge for only one of them?
Because there was only one advantage left.
Did it need to be given out?
Yes, it did, all right? They needed to give out that blocker vote.
Do you know who didn't get to go? Poor old John. Everyone else went to the fucking ultimate sacrifice. John never goes to the ultimate sacrifice zone.
Poor John.
It didn't need to happen post-merge. I'm just saying.
I
agree. I absolutely agree. But yeah, Wolfie picks Anna, and then later people are going to be like, oh, look, those two are so close. He picked her to go to the ultimate sacrifice. And then she chooses Mel. I think she just said because she thought he was nice, and I think she wanted to try and flip him. Anna just lets Mel take it. He gets a cancel a vote, and for that he gets one phantom vote against him, which is like, again, like you talked about, it's kind of, you block a vote, you get a vote. It's whatever. We get a confession from Wolfie. The ORCA is officially back on top of the pod. Just makes my heart sing. Like, who did he know that how many years later we would have a podcast named after his random quotes? No.
No, and I don't think he's particularly happy about it, as we've discussed before. But the fact is,
he's fine about it now. He just didn't like the award being.
Didn't like the award to be named after him. I think he's fine with the name.
No one has ever gone on any of these LRGs and given podcasts of this quality. Sorry, not podcasts. We call us this quality. Confessionals of this quality. Like, they're unbelievably good. And I wonder if he rehearsed them before or they're just coming out naturally. They're just fucking good. And I still can't believe how good they are. Like, on a rewatch, it's like, as Ma would do.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're all scrambling back at camp because, well, their only target got immunity. The purple is sort of working out what they're going to do instead. They don't want John to go, but he's the only orange that doesn't have a known idol, doesn't have immunity. Like, they kind of have to let him go, and they plan to split the votes on Mel and John. Wolfie comes up with this grand plan. He's like, right, we're going to do a minority split vote. We're going to put 3 votes on Michael and 1 vote on Sophie. Anna, you're going to play your idol for Mel. And she's like, no, I'm not.
This is actually a good plan, by the way.
It's a good plan, except why does Anna need to play her idol on Mel? I don't understand that part. Mel has her own super idol.
Then Mel can play the super idol on whomever they put the votes on.
Yeah, Anna ain't playing the idol on Mel. No,
it's a really good fucking plan. But the problem is James is just like shouting in Anna's face about what she should be doing. But it's a really good plan.
But Anna's not doing it.
No.
It's a great plan.
They aren't this type 4. That's the problem.
I know, but it's a good plan. This could have been like in David and Goliath, where all the Davids come together with all their advantages. It's and
they had most of them.
I know. It could have been epic.
They could have done it, but they weren't together. Mel is trying to get Nick to flip with him to vote out Michael, even though Michael has told them all he has a legacy advantage that's good at merge. So, like, I don't know why you wouldn't play it at merge. But
Save
anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna find.
He's pretty in the numbers. He feels fine. He's not worried.
that's true. But
If I was Nick, I would want Michael gone. This is where Michael starts sliding his way into Nick's alliances, and Nick can see it. Eventually, he just accepts it, but he doesn't like it.
Yeah. But Mel gives Anna his safety without power to hold, and at first he's like, "Yeah, I'm just giving it to you now, and you're going to give it back to me after tribal." I want to know at what point he got it back, because we do see that he goes on to play it. We go to tribal, and there's whispering. Wolfie's going around whispering in everyone's ears, and I didn't take down a single note of anything anyone said at tribal because I was too distracted by the whispering. And then, of course, we get to the vote. Mel fucks off out of there with his safety without power. John stands up and announces that Mel, Nick, James, and Anna are the secret tight four, and you guys should vote for Nick now, otherwise you won't get a chance to. And then we get the little flashback of Nick finding the legacy idol at the challenge. He's like, well, thanks for that, John. I'm going to play this.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the moment John realizes he is fucked.
Yep.
And because before the safety of power, all the purples are talking about voting out Mal instead because they know he's going to flip. There's a point where, like, Ma is talking to Sophie and was like, would you be willing to vote Mal here? And then Mal, like, walks up. But I think they were whispering, so he couldn't hear it. But it's quite funny watching that. Yeah. And then they're like, "Oh yeah, no, because it's a shame that Wolfie won immunity. Oh no, yeah.
What are we gonna do?"
This is great because Mal is going to potentially get voted out, and then he saves himself, and then John makes a whole speech about Nick. Maybe he could have got the votes on, and then Nick saves himself, and it's just like it's this cascading. Yeah. And then Michael's like,
with everything that happened, John's like John goes home here. I think he was plan like D for all of them. There's plan A, plan B, plan C. He probably actually all the way to plan Z or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I still had Miles back here and told him to play safety without power.
Okay, so he was in danger.
Okay. So yes, we get to the all right. Anyone have a hidden immunity idol? Anna stands up and she makes a big speech. Anna's feeling very like people are trying to control what she does. And so she wants to make a big speech. People are talking over the top of her. And Dan's really nice, says, come up here and say what you want to say. And she's, does the whole thing about, I'm not playing this because I've been told to. I just want to get rid of it because an advantage is a disadvantage, blah, blah, blah. So she plays hers. And then Nick comes up.
You were told to play it on. James' plan was good. She just didn't listen. It was a good plan. Yeah.
Because... Well, actually, it was not a good
doesn't
plan.
even have the relationship. It's that, like, I agree with you. That plan was good. It was just not the right people to make that.
That plan actually was bad because if they had done that, Anna would have gone home. Well, actually, Mel would have decided either Anna or John was going home.
Did Anna and John have the same amount of votes?
No, John had 2. Anna had 1.
And Joe had 1, right?
No, Joe didn't have 1. I've got them all written down right here.
No one from Purple had votes. Yeah. So you're saying no one from Purple had a vote?
Michael did.
Only Michael.
Michael had 3. Hang on, I'll get to it. So Nick plays his. Then Michael goes, yep, I agree. Having advantage is disadvantage. I'll play mine. And then Sophie stands up and everyone's like laughing and clapping for her because she's like, oh, I tricked you all. Haley didn't take it. I've got this. I'm going to play it too.
No one was tricked, Sophie.
No one was tricked. She didn't have a single vote, but I think it's absolutely the right play at that moment.
It expired that. It didn't expire that one anyway. It was a 3
one more
trouble.
Yeah. Could use the next one. So the votes came out 3 for Michael, which were negated. 3 for Mel, 1 for Anna, which got negated by her idol. 2 for John. Mel plays the super idol, and John goes out. So I have even written down like who voted for who. So the 3 votes for Michael, James, Anna, and John. The 3 votes for Mel, Joe, Michael, and Nick. The 1 vote from Anna, surprise, surprise, came from Mel. The 2 votes for John came from Sophie and Ma. So if they had followed along with James's plan, then and Anna plays her idol for Mel, and then Mel chooses who to use a super idol on, she would have been left to decide between Anna and John. And if she had have not played it, John would have gone with 2 votes.
But if they'd done the plan, then Mel would have voted for someone from Purple and not for Anna.
Would she have though? Does she have any loyalty?
If they're all
to them?
part-
That's if they're going along this plan. Yes.
Yeah.
They're doing the plan. She's not going to vote for someone orange, right?
This is true.
I still think the plan was good. Look, James is a smart player, and the Apex Predator knows what he's doing, but he cannot counter for the fact there's going to be 10 fucking advantages. I don't care how good your plan is.
And the fact that there's Anna and Mal are they're not getting along at this point.
Yeah. It's a big ask to
yeah.
ask Anna to play her idol on Mel.
Yeah.
It is huge.
And especially once all the other advantages started coming out, like, she would have been nervous. Because, I mean, 3 people could have been voted out of this tribal. There are 10 people there. The only people who could receive votes, John, Ma, and Joe. Everyone else is safe.
I think John going here is a great outcome for everyone involved. I think he was going to flip on those oranges and go with Ma, as I said. I think it would have cheapened her win to have him there with him, with her. Like, it'd always be this, and, John's won before, so who cares that he got advantage out of here? Like, he was playing with house money. He was a late call up, fill in, whatever. Like, I just do think this outcome works. I also think it flushes all the advantages, which is great, makes the game more back to natural. There were too many advantages. They're all gone. The ultimate sacrifice is over. We can just move on with the gameplay now. I think it makes a really interesting merge. It's cool that it happened. It's memorable. I like it. I think it's a good outcome to 6 episodes of The Ultimate Sacrifice and all the advantages that were handed out.
Yes. Agreed.
I'll say one thing about it that I thought about during this podcast. And I don't know if it existed when we did. It didn't exist, I don't believe. Maybe. It might have existed. It would be close on a timing perspective. The one advantage that should have been in The Ultimate Sacrifice that's not is knowledge is power.
Yeah, it didn't exist yet.
It's close.
Yes,
but
it did.
not.
At time of
It's in
filming, no.
41.
The time of filming, no.
41.
At time of filming, no,
The
sorry.
knowledge and power would have been a perfect advantage given the number of
hate knowledge and
advantages. Yeah, but this is when it would have been good. Because if you knew there was knowledge of power, this is like playing one of those social strategy games, right? You need the counter for the superpower. So the superpower is the super idol, right? But if everyone knows you've got the super idol, then the person with knowledge of power can just take your fucking super idol, right? So it actually counters out the power card, and balances it properly. You know what I'm saying, Jules? It works for that.
I get it. I still hate knowledge. The reason I hate knowledge is power is because I like when people tell people about their advantages as a way, because the way you play an idol is you play it and you negate votes. I like when people use it in another way. Hey, I've got this idol. I'm using it to build trust with you. I like when people do that. If knowledge is power is in the game, they don't do that.
Sure, but that's lost when production tells everyone what all the advantages are. By giving
Now I'm saying knowledge is power had aired prior to our filming.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, but when production tells everyone these are the advantages and this is how you get them, and then everyone's already fucking aware of that anyway, that loses that influence. This is the one time I think it would have been really good.
Yeah.
You won't agree
Anyway,
with me, but you don't
we're 2.5 hours in. We've been through 6 episodes.
Well, I had very short notes of mine, so I'm not putting it on me. Malcolm is pleased.
We're deep diving. We're deep diving, CK.
Malcolm
Let
is
anyone know in
pleased.
the comments. Let us know if you blame CK for how long.
Malcolm is pleased. He's used the safety of that power. He thinks he was in trouble. I reckon he was right. Everyone feels good and cleansed that the idols have been played. Mel said she lost her super idol and she voted for Anna because it's her habit. Just to vote for her now. And then Wolf and Mal and Nick are talking about who spilled the beans, and they're blaming John because he's gone, so he's an easy target. And this is where Sophie calls out James Wolf. This is where it's James Wolf, you're being too aggressive and you're coming off as a bit of a flog. No offense. I love it with no offense. It's it's like I'm saying something offensive, but no offense, you flog.
Yeah, don't take offense to my offensive statement.
He actually takes it pretty well, actually. He responds to it pretty well, to be honest, being called out like that. I think he knows he's being a bit of a flog. He's been leaning into it. He's enjoying it.
What's his persona for this? Yeah.
It's the character. This is, as James Book will say, the person he is on camera, Survivor, is not the person he is in real life. He's playing up a character. That character was a flog. He's happy for that character to be identified as such.
Yeah, very much so.
She then apologizes, and then goes straight to Anna and says, "Don't let him walk all over you." And Anna's like, "Yeah, I want to get rid of the people that walk all over me." And Sophie's like, "Come over to us." Mal says that he's thinking of going for Nick if James wins immunity, which is weird because I thought like he and Nick working together. The Purples had not set up themselves up well. Anna wants a girls' alliance, but obviously not with Mel, but with any of the other girls, that's fine. Ma is not wanting James to go. Ma's really worried that at some point, and it's a sensible concern, people are going to figure out that she's running this game and she needs people like James in front of her. Yet no one seems to figure this out ever, so it doesn't really matter. But she's trying to keep James as much as she can. She wants people like Joe to go. Not Joe, sorry. I'm not who she wants to go. But she certainly doesn't want probably Mel and Anna. But she doesn't. But Michael and Joe want James gone. They have to build dominoes in the challenge. It's like the highest tower at a certain point. Like whatever. Nick wins. And this is a huge immunity, as we'll get to, because it's two immunities for no fucking sensible reason. And
no, it's the next one.
Now everybody wants Wolf gone. I'm like, which is a horrible move for Malcolm, honestly, and maybe Ma and Nick, right? Like, but all the girls want him gone, and Michael and Orange, so they can't do anything to save him, right? Like. But we do get one last great Orca confessional, which is excellent. And look, I have to give. I'll come to it in a minute. Nick feels he's in trouble if he didn't have immunity, which is true. Like, that rolls on for a while. Joe wants Michael to cop votes from Nick and James in case there's something. That's called the convention the split, and like. Joe's really flippant about like, oh, you should just cop some votes. Like, just votes, whatever. You just cop votes. Like and no one, of course, wants to be the split.
Which is very funny considering the next episode. But
and then they're like, Joe, who should the split be on? Like, and then she's like, Michael, I don't know. Like, why not one of the orange women, you people? Like, that's where the split should be. Why would it be on Michael? Why are you talking about voting for the purple people? And then like, this is a really long stretch out for the easy James vote. And then I'm like, I suppose they're setting up the double boot. And then James tries to fake it. Look, I'll give it up for Wolf as a final moment. I'll talk about my boot in 5 weeks' time or 6 weeks' time. And not everybody goes out fighting in these things. And I don't really get it. Like, why, what? Well, there's not much you can do when you know it's you. You can search for idols, which he does. You can say you got a fake idol, which is a tricky one to do, but he does. How effective that is, I don't know. With his dirty sock. You can say that, you can say that, you can fight, you can throw other people under the bus. Like, I do all these things when I get booted, and I'm very proud of it that I didn't go out without just a whimper. And that's what you expect from these players. But a lot of people just sort of just go out, right? Like, oh, it's me, and don't try and do anything. And I don't get it. And that's what we expect from the person who's named is the name of this podcast, to go out, not with a whimper, but fighting all the way, just nonsense stuff. Like that dirty sock idol. No one's buying that. He said he's not voting for who he said he's voting.
Look at this, everyone. I've got an idol. Look at this.
It's not even like that. He kind of like whips it out and puts it straight back in his pocket. He does it very quickly.
And then it's not a bad move, but it doesn't really matter because they plan for it. It's a split, and Anna has 2 votes. So I think they always had Anna as a split. If he did something that was always sword, and the purples just went with it. So it's a pretty straightforward vote, which turns into a nonsense moment as we flow into the next episode for whom it is, Dani, I think. Because Nick is just immune again for some fucking reason.
No, he's not. You're ahead.
You're ahead.
Oh, I'm ahead.
You're ahead.
Oh.
My vote. Yeah. No, this one's double job. So
well, actually, I my notes. I said, is this setting up the double boot, or is that the next one? I guess I did not.
It's the next. Warrior Goddess in the Sky. So both Soph and Joe are pretty pissed that their names came out in that tribal. Very annoyed. Soph, particularly so. She thinks it was Mel. Nick is doubling down on the fact that it wasn't him. He didn't do it. I didn't vote for my view. Like confessionals about it. He's like, I'm too far gone now. I can't even confess even if I wanted to. I'm doing it so that she comes closer to me, which I mean, it ends up working in his favor that way.
Works really well.
Mars clocking that it was one of the boys who did it. She doesn't necessarily clock that it was Nick, but she clocks that it was one of the boys to try to stop the all-female alliance from happening. And Mel is finding the whole situation hilarious, that the girls are so upset about getting one vote each. And she copped how many over 2 days. She's like,
Yeah.
come on, guys. Like, you know,
To be fair, most of Mel's votes were self-induced.
Oh, 100%. But it's just like, it's just a very funny confession where she's like, come on, guys. Like, it's one vote. Like, you were never in danger. Michael's starting to get annoyed about Jo and the fact that she's kind of coasting through the game, taking up people's spots. Fair. Mars starting to pull Anna in close. She's really wanting to kind of solidify this female thing and target Nick.
This is where it starts, where Mark just consistently just wants to get rid of Nick and keeps saying they're not negative things about Nick, but like, I want him gone, I hate him, he's gonna go. There's also this like growing like admiration for him, like this like begrudging admiration, which obviously turns into love in due course. But it's quite hilarious how much he just wants this fucking guy gone. And this is a bit like, why won't he die? I want him gone. But it's pretty special what he's done. He's pretty amazing. But like, I want him fucking gone.
She wants him gone so badly, and to this day, she's still not been able to get rid of him. So
great.
No, stuck to it. I like that. Michael is starting to feel really confident at this point in time in the game because he like made Jo and Soph decoy onto Anna, so he feels like he's got little minions doing his bidding. Immunity is the ball balance. Jo's out first, followed by Anna, followed by Mel. Then Lamingtons are offered. Mar goes out, down to one hand. Mel goes out. Michael drops for the Lamingtons. We see Soph ask Nick for immunity, to which he was like, no. Why would I do that? And it's super. It looks quite like Soph looks so comfortable here. Like she's on a weird angle holding it, but she doesn't look like she's in pain. And Nick looks like he's like agonizing pain. And then Soph just drops out of nowhere. Like I thought Soph might have had it for a sec there. And then Jo's really sad after the challenge. She's just like feeling like super shitty about her play. She really thought she could win something. She's just having a hard time. Not feeling very vulnerable after her one vote. For the day. But when you get to that point, that one vote can really just fuck with your head. Like I get that. Like just that one vote, that's good. And if no one's copping to it, no one's telling you why, the paranoia is real. Nick's just become a walking immunity target.
Sophie's saying her wrist was cooked.
Yeah. You looked super comfy. You couldn't see it in your face. You got a great poker face. And we have a confessional where Michael said that he was going to drop anyway, so got the Lamingtons and thought that he would get Lamington points for sharing them with people, which no one really seemed to give a fuck about. Anna and Mel start working together overtime to shift the vote off of Winu, so I think they're kind of all in on the girls thing to shift it away.
James Wolfe is like now you're working together? Now that I'm gone, best friends?
Yeah.
I had a plan.
Everyone's talking about Jo and the fact that she'd win if she was at the end, which I don't understand.
Would she? I don't
so there's
think
this conversation I think where it's like Nick, Soph, and someone else, and Nick says, "Oh, like she'd totally win if she got to the end," and Soph goes, "Really?" Like her face, like, and I was just like, "That's my reaction." If someone said to me, I'd be like, what?
And they talk about the fact that she doesn't know what she's doing. It's like, well, Sophie didn't know much more, and Sophie didn't win, so like,
yeah.
Who's in the jury right now? John and James Wolfe. Are they voting for Jo? Like, let's get real. They are not.
They even talk about it in the final tribal where they're like, "Oh, like no, wait, sorry." When Jo does go, they're like, "Oh, like
you're too good. Like, you would have won."
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I was like, I don't. Yeah, my response was the same as Sophie's. I was just like, "What? No,
really?"
So, but anyway.
Look, no offense to Jo, but she wouldn't need to be against Joseph and Banfield to win this game at the final three.
Yeah, all the people still left standing there, she's not going to beat.
No.
Joseph and Banfield, that's about it. Maybe Sam.
Mars now retargeting Mal to weaken Nick because she can't go for Nick, so we're back on the Mal train. Tribal Council, Nick threatens a challenge based run if people keep trying to vote for him, which he goes on anyway. Mel makes it clear that he knows that he's a person that people are voting for, and Mel tells people to pick a side. Mar plays his steal a vote, takes Anna's vote. Mel plays his cancel a vote on Mel. And then Mel goes 4-3-1. Because Mar used both of her votes on Mel. And then after that happens, we go into a second vote, to which CK referred to before, whereas Nick is still immune.
Yeah, I didn't love this. I think either you don't have an immunity or you do a quick challenge at tribal.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like the
Why
fact
do you
that he
get
can win
double
one
double
challenge and get 2 immunities from it is a bit okay.
I agree. Yeah.
People should know in advance that this is coming. If that's part of the game, people should know there's a double tribal. I know it's supposed to be a surprise, so it doesn't work. But there is a double tribal. If you're immune in that one, then you're immune in both, so people can plan around. It's ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah. Telling them mid-tribal and then him being like, "Oh, am I still immune?" They're like, "Yes." Okay, sure.
Yeah.
So they did this in Melbourne, and I don't believe the person that was immune stayed immune. The immunity was just removed.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
No one had immunity.
Which is fine.
Yeah.
Do you think Nick would have been in some trouble though? Then, like, I think he probably goes.
I think he goes.
Nick probably goes.
Nick, oh yeah, he goes. I'm confident he goes
because Mouse has gone and it's the girls and Michael. But absolutely he goes.
Yeah. Nick does.
Because I mean they talk for a minute and then they vote out Joe unanimously. I think it's because they couldn't vote out. If they could vote out Nick, it would have been a unanimous vote. Maybe not unanimous. Sophie doesn't vote for him. Yeah, but everyone else does. So don't love that. But it's a fairly straightforward vote. It's our first unanimous vote of the season, which is very hard.
Joe.
But they're sort of after tribal. They're just explaining that they what you said, Dani. They all think she's a potential jury threat, and I'm like, okay, cool, yep. Anna's upset that her vote was stolen because there's this perception that people can just control her and tell her what to do, and she doesn't like that. I don't see how stealing her vote is that. It would have just been like, hey, vote this way if they can control her. I think stealing her vote is suggesting they can't control her.
Yeah.
Anna has a narrative. Anna has a narrative, and she'll feed her confessionals to that narrative. Yeah.
Anna and Mel are coming together, and they're both talking about how like they're kind of forced, like they're not neither of them is the other's number one choice for an ally, but they don't really have a choice but to work together. They're both clocking Mara as playing the best game socially, but they don't want to vote her out. They want to work with her. Now, is it because she's the only one that's giving them the time of day?
Maybe.
And like maybe if she wasn't, they would be going around targeting her. Like, I don't know.
Probably if they had people that they were willing to work with them. Like Mar seems to be the only one willing to like work with them at this point in time.
Anna says in her final words that she wishes she didn't dismiss Nick. That Nick tried to work with her and she dismissed him. She wanted the girls thing. And so other people are trying to speak with them, at least with Anna, and they're not biting. They're just all in on what Mar's selling.
Yeah, they're drinking the Mar Kool-Aid. We get a confession from Nick talking about that he's very aware of his threat level and that it's rising every challenge he wins. The only way he can lower it is by losing immunity, but then he might get voted out for it, and he would, in fact, get voted out for it. So he doesn't really have a choice but to keep winning. I don't really have much more before the challenge, where they have to transport water using a plate to fill a bottle. We get the controversial moment where Sophie tries to help Nick. And he goes, no, you can't help. Can't help someone else. And it's like, I can't remember. I don't have episode titles written down, but I believe that's where this one comes from. It's like I've made a huge mistake or something. Because Sophie realizes straight away she fucked up by doing that. So Mara actually finishes first, and then Nick does as well, but Nick does the puzzle quicker. So Nick wins yet again. Mar and Michael are concerned that obviously that Nick is a threat, and they see Sophie as being close with him. I mean, obviously she helped him with the challenge, and it becomes clear that it's this final six. There's three pairs. You've got Nick and Sophie, you've got Michael and Mar, and you've got Anna and Mel. And Michael and Mar and
the Anna and Mel one. The Anna and Mel one is hilarious, considering that
It's like the unlikely allies that have voted against each other so many times, but neither of them has a choice but to work together. But yeah, so it's Michael and Mara the deciding votes here. They know that Nick and Sophie are going to vote for Mel. Anna and Mel are going to vote for Sophie, and it's up to them to decide. And they ultimately decide to vote for Mel, voting out 4-2. I don't really have much more on this episode other than that. I just think, did they make the right call, do we think?
Who made the wrong call?
Hindsight, yes, they did, but should they have voted out Sophie instead?
Who? Michael and Mara?
Mara and Michael choosing to vote out Mel over Sophie.
No, it doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters.
This is the problem. This is the problem a bit with this season. Like, you try to start working out different permutations, and like, was that a mistake? It doesn't really matter because Ma makes all these decisions, and Nick and Sophie are sort of on board with them, and they make the final three, and Nick comes with one vote of winning. Like,
yeah.
Michael's probably the one making the wrong decision.
Episode.
If anyone, it's Michael. Michael makes the wrong decisions. He's about the only one, and I don't know what other decisions he could make. He just didn't have the relationships with the other people to go on.
Yeah. Yeah, Ma did all that work. Ma did the legwork for his spot in the game.
Into the finale, Anna is annoyed that she wasn't clued in on the vote. Like, she's like, I would have voted for Mel. I've only done it like 50 fucking times. But like, doesn't say that, but like, that's the implication. But Ma godmothers as in the time of the real time we're watching this, we were calling Ma La Madrina, which is godmother in Spanish, because she's a real godmother vibes in this.
Mm-hmm.
And Ma's just like, what else are you gonna do? Go with them? Like, you're with me. Shut up. Shut up and know your place.
Bite the hand that feeds you.
Yeah.
And then Ma is discussing plans if Nick wins. And like, if Nick wins, I'm with you, and like Nick. But if Nick, I'm with you, Anna. And Anna's like, I'm not sure if I buy it. She's sort of, the glaze has come off, being left out of the vote. Now Sophie's like, oh, Anna's big well under pressure. Like, I don't know. Sophie's not trying to like make herself into a goat, but she's just like, now I really think what's happening with Sophie, she thinks she's going to make it at the end, and she's worried she's going to embarrass herself. I think that's what she's trying to tell us. Actually, I think she's realized she's going to make the end. And then Anna's the only one who's like, Anna goes to talking to Sophie, and she's like, what about Ma? So like, Anna's really reacted to the situation. Like, maybe we should vote out Ma. And like, I think the leader is Ma. It's not Nick. Like, she's finally clocked it. And Michael's like, I wouldn't turn on Ma at all. I wouldn't turn on Ma for anything in the world. It's not really mutual, as we'll find out. And Nick thinks he can beat Sophie and Ma. Like, he's pretty confident in himself. I sort of get where he's at, but equally, he hasn't done anything except win a lot of challenges. And I know he's sort of counting on Malcolm and Wolf's vote, but like, dude, I don't know where he was thinking he would get the votes to beat Ma.
He was. I think he's. I mean, we'll see it as it goes on. He's like, kind of talks about that he's like the challenge beast, but he also, like, he had that fall. He was loyal to them the whole way through. So like, he's like, his love and loyalty sort of a thing, plus his challenge beast gives him that onus. Because I think he sees himself as the linchpin in that fall. He's not clocking Mara as that linchpin.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's really usurped by the fact that she was trying to get him out the whole time, which makes him look he has less power. He thinks they aren't as visible, noting, like, he thinks they aren't as visible as him and the last tribal council. Ma called Nick the cult leader, and he feels like he's being put on the pedestal, but that's really Ma just setting him up because she's the cult leader. The challenge is counting and then do a combo lock, and I said it's not too bad, but it's not exactly riveting TV. And
it's anticlimactic that the challenge ends with like, oh, I've opened my lock. Like, you need the lock on a box, and you open the box and pull something out that, like, you win immunity or something.
Or like a novelty side lock. I know we have big things in this, but like a huge lock. Nick wins immunity. He picks someone to go with him for reward. He's got to pick his loyal ally, Sophie. Nick's like, I trust Ma, and you know, obviously it's not mutual. And he says, she hasn't given me a reason not to trust, you know, like not to trust her. It's like, you're always immune. Like she hasn't had the chance. And then Michael almost gets caught saying to Ma that they're going to vote out Anna by Anna. Like Anna basically hears it. She walks up and he's like, "Oh, you were voting Anna? Oh, yeah. What do you want to do, Anna?" Like fully caught. And then Nick, for some reason, decides to reveal to Sophie that he'd put that rogue vote on her way back. And
yeah, there was no need for that.
Guilty conscience.
Don't need to press that over. And then he says he was stressed because James was saying bad stuff. And then Sophie misunderstands him and says, "Oh, so you're doing it so you could like lock in with James and then like use that as a thing." He's like, "Oh no, I just wanted to like make you feel like threatened." He fully says why he did it. Like I cannot believe she doesn't seem fucking happy about it, but I can't believe she sticks with him after this. Like, she was bothered by that vote. It bothered her, and her closest ally, who she was refusing to turn on, you know,
she puts her game on hold so that he can get ahead. Like it's not, of course. Like I
don't know why he tells her this, and I don't know why she doesn't make him suffer for it more.
Correct.
All right, that was my 40 minutes.
Cool. And basically we have Anna like pitching to the fore at tribal council as like why. Like, don't take the easy road, don't take the simple vote, like do something interesting with it. And then Anna goes home 3-2. Marv actually votes for Sophia, reasoning that she's just so inflexible in terms of what she will vote for.
I get this, Sophie, but you're a human being, and most human beings will be pretty fucking bothered that their best like ally randomly voted for them to make them feel worried and bring them closer. He basically gaslighted her by voting for her to bring her closer to him. And it's a legit move. I'm not complaining about it as a move. Like, people do it, it's fine. But when you find out about it, you've got a right to, as a human, be a bit bothered by that.
And then she cops it again because like Ma then confesses to her. Like so like it's like Soph thinks that Michael was the one who threw the vote her way until Ma just like confesses to her shortly after. So she's like double whammy, these two people that she's like never ever flipped on. They're both like, yeah, we both voted for you, sorry. Like, they're not his loyal bestie. He's not loyal to you though. Loyalty goes both ways. It must. So final four, Ma, Nick, Soph, and Michael. So that all four they've been hoping for the whole way along comes to fruition, which without a swap is always kind of going to be the case when you go into a merge with more numbers that way. Michael voted.
And they're two obvious outliers in Mao and Joe who didn't realize they were obvious outliers. So it was pretty set up.
Yeah.
But Nick would have gone much earlier. Like Nick thinks he's in this group. This problem. Mao thought he was in the group. He wasn't. Joe thought she was in the group. She wasn't. Nick thinks he's in the group. He's not. He's just always immune. Like the actual group is the thing. The actual group is Ma and Michael, right? Who wasn't part of the original group, plus Sophie. But Sophie thinks Nick's in, but Nick's not really. This is the brilliant.
Ma is the group.
Ma's the group.
Yeah.
Ma's the entire group chat.
But the whole story telling, all of them would be like, this is the four that we always wanted. How amazing that we like got
We
this,
never tried to come for each other.
Ma calls Michael Judas because he he voted against
Michael was trying to differentiate his game from Ma.
Correct, yeah. Michael was trying to separate himself. And then Ma has a confession where she's worried that she's buried her game by voting for Soph and not Anna. She's worried that that's going to come up against, which again, the fact that it doesn't. Sophie here again, we're not being like, well, I can't get Nick his immune. Let me get the other motherfucker who voted for my last tribal.
Correct. Ma also thinks that Michael. I would honestly believe that Ma thinks that Michael's going to turn on her.
Yeah, because they haven't voted together here, so I think she then again thinks.
And she's planning on turning on him. Like, she has no qualms about it. She's assuming he would feel the same. He doesn't. He's incredibly loyal. And I actually think that savagery only comes because she's played before. It's the fact that she's played before. She's voted people out savagely. She's been voted out savagely. And, you know, you can feel bad about the things you do at the time. Like, I can't do that to that person. But you're like, whatever. Like, some of these people I'll be friends with, some of them I won't be. Who cares? Like, what will be will be. Let's do what you're gonna do in the game, and she gets it because she's played. Whereas Michael's like, I could never do that to her. If Michael played again, he'd fucking savage anyone. Like, he's, he wouldn't care. He's like best friends with Nick and John and Mara and all of them in real life, and it didn't matter if they were together or not or voting. That's not how the friendships come out of the games, right?
Yeah.
So, if Michael played again, he would have turned on her in a heartbeat, I reckon. And I reckon he could have won.
Yeah, I think he has a good pitch at final 3, which we see Sophie talk about. She's like, if he's at final 3, like, I don't think anybody beats Michael. Which is an interesting take.
I think Ma beats Michael. I think Michael needs Ma gone to win. But I think
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, like, what would be the fire making challenge? And then if Michael wins it, Michael, Nick, and Ma, I think we see a very interesting final tribal with a very split vote.
Yeah,
I think it's potentially even like a 3-2-2.
The option doesn't present, but what Ma thinks is the 3 of them are going to vote her out because it's what the 3 of them should do. But it just doesn't present.
Exactly what they should have done.
Yeah, it just doesn't present as an option.
Yeah, I've got a note here. Like, I'm like still finding it crazy and incredible that no one looks at Ma on this vote. Not one.
Ma's shocked.
Yeah. So
Ma's like, what? How is this vote between Michael and Sophie? She's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, 100%. Immunity, the hardest puzzle ever. So they're allowed to look at the solve. You see Ma start copying Nick, so when he's back at the thing, he's covering it, so Ma can't see it, but she obviously can't cover it when he's
Nick should have put his buff on top of it when he had to run away from it.
Yeah. Nick wins final immunity, so makes 5 immunities. What's the record?
Nick is that? But can we still have Nick? I think it's 5. Eden's not here, so I'm not sure. I think it's 5. Maybe Eden's still here. I think that I love the way that, number one, they bring the table closer because it's taking too long. But I also like how Nick just blunt forces this. Like, he doesn't even try and put a piece in without going and looking at the solution. It's his fitness. Every single run, put that one in. Run, put that one in. Even at the end, he runs up and there's like 3 left.
He's got 3 pieces left and he's still checking. Yeah. Nick wants to target Michael. And I got here planning a challenge beast / loyal ally approach for his final tribal. Ma wants to get Michael because she doesn't think she can differentiate herself at final tribal. Soph thinks Michael wins at final 3. Michael's obviously devastated that Nick won. Nick tells Michael that he'll be voting for him. Nick then has a confessional where he's like, famous last words, but I think I'm going to win. Tribal Council, Ma is crying from the outset, so pretty much very quickly. I mean, we kind of already knew, but from the fact that she's crying immediately, you kind of already you clock that it's the Michael going home. Still find it crazy and incredible that no one is looking at Ma on this vote.
Michael makes a dumb pitch where he's like, oh, well, Mara and I's games aren't exactly the same. We've not always voted together. And I'm like, one time you voted correctly when she didn't. That's just the icing on the cake of why she has to get rid of you. Like,
you did one thing better than she did at a tribal council. You got to get the fuck out here. Then we get like a confessional. Soph super proud of herself for her social game and not having voted for Nick or Ma the entire game. So being loyal to her closest people. And I get a confessional from Ma where she tells them, well, not confessional. She tells Nick and Soph, let's give each other hell.
Jules, I assume, is doing the final thing.
And then we go into final tribal. There's no opening statement. We just go straight into jury questioning, which, like,
out of time.
I'm fine with because I feel like but most people, like, if you do an opening statement that's good, then you don't really need to be asked many questions. So it's like, I think just let them ask the question, and if there's something you want to cover at the end, you can do it in the closing statement.
Yeah, and I feel like you can really tailor then future responses based off the questions you're getting. Because they're kind of asking specifics of what they don't know or what they think about your game. So then you already have an idea of what the jury perceives of you. Whereas when you're doing an opening statement, you don't know what the perception is from the get-go. So being able to just like have them ask you straight away, you're like, oh, okay, this is the kind of things I need to cover and what they want to hear from me.
Yeah. Now I did, when I was first making notes, I was making a point tally of who I thought won each jury's question, but they're kind of pointless because I feel like Ma won all of them. We start with John. He wants to know about game awareness. What was your biggest mistake and how did you recover? Sophie says helping Nick during the challenge. She came back by being resilient. Nick said way back in the first tribal, Grace targeted him because he didn't get to know her. Put a bit more effort into getting to know everyone after that. I think
Which I like. That was good.
That's a solid answer. But then Ma comes along and basically secures herself, I'd say, 2 jury votes. She goes, but yeah, voting out Joe at that final 7, that was just, I panicked and I made a snap decision, and that was my biggest mistake. And I think, did she get Joe's jury vote?
No, I don't think she doesn't get Joe's vote, and I don't think no. And
I still think that's a really good answer.
It's not until she gives the further information to Joe later, but Joe still doesn't give a fuck. He votes for Nick. I think John's question should have been more. I would like John's question to be more meta and more self-referential, and he should have said, which Survivor player you most like, and why is it Denise?
Well,
that would have been an amazing question.
Look, talking about being self-referential, James comes up and he asks a very awkward question of, do you regret voting me out when I could have stopped Nick from winning immunity?
I love this question.
Yeah. And Ma, again, great answer. Doesn't get James' vote ultimately, but a great answer. Yeah, you're right. But we should have kept you to vote out. She's like, I didn't want to vote you out, but everyone else wanted to vote you out, and I didn't.
She didn't want to vote you out. This is true. She's telling the truth.
But she also gives a really good point of she was playing multiple sides, and by voting out Wolfie, she didn't have to show her hand. She could still continue to play both sides because that was an easy unanimous vote. Yeah. And then Sophie's just like, nah, don't regret it at all. You played aggressively. I have no regrets. Nah, zero fucks given.
You're a flog, James Wolf. You're a flog, and I voted you out.
Yeah. But then James, he has to have the last word, and he goes, Sophie, your answer makes me think you were playing for Nick to win, which is that's how a lot of people viewed it, I thought.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mel's question.
It's not like she specifically tried to help him in a challenge or anything.
Yeah. Malcolm says, Nick, you're good at challenges, but I need to hear your strategy. And then he talks about, you told me that you were going to flip on Michael. What happened there? I think this is a really good question because for someone who's winning all the challenges, you want to know what they're doing strategically. So I do like this question. And I have spoken to Malcolm about this, and that was ultimately what decided his vote. And so if Nick had answered this a bit better, I think Nick might have been the winner of the season. But Nick was saying that was a strategic move for him to not flip. He said, I had an alliance with these two. I agreed to vote for Michael. This isn't what ultimately happened, but originally he was saying I agreed to vote for Michael knowing he was going to play an idol so I could play both sides. I could say to you, I voted for Michael. It's a shame it didn't work. I don't think that was the answer that Mal was looking for. It was an okay answer, but I think, he didn't earn Malcolm's vote here, and he probably could have got it. I think Mal was probably open-minded to vote for either of the two.
Yeah. Nick's a bit, when he tries to lay on his alliance with Ma, people on the jury are going to know from Michael and others that alliance doesn't really exist, so it makes Nick look a bit stupid. We glazed over it, but there's this great bit where he wins the final challenge, and, Ma's like, oh, you got us. We've been trying to get you for so long, and you just won them all. And he's like, you've been trying to get me? And she's like, yeah. If you win it,
every time. I've been waiting.
But we're an alliance. He's like,
yeah.
I thought you knew that, Nick.
But also the whole talking about I was completely loyal.
Oh, we lost her. She's the one with the notes.
She's the one. Where has she gone? No, what was she even saying?
Well, Joe gets up and asks the question about, she's very
it's
sad.
Not a question, she has a statement.
But everyone feels the need to answer it anyway.
They would give her a response.
Her Wi-Fi died. Okay, we'll just try and do it from our memory. So she's very upset about the fact that she got voted out unanimously when she made such an effort for everyone else not to get voted out unanimously. And, she feels bad about it and fuck all you. And then, everyone starts to try and talk about it. And Dan's like, do you want them to respond? She's like, sure, whatever. And then everyone comes out with mile-long speeches. Mars is actually the best and the most truthful about how she was. She's tried so hard to save her and then put it on to Malcolm, and which she did. And then it just, she panicked and got rid of her. And Jules might be back. Jules is back now.
Sorry, my Wi-Fi died. I don't know what happened. It was just gone.
We did Joe's question. What's next? We did Joe without you.
You did Joe? Okay.
Yep.
Mel said she wants to know what their strategic gameplay coming in was, and then was there a sliding doors moment that got you here? So basically, did something change along the way? Sophie says, going in, no real strategy, but was going to rely on my social game. My only goal was to not be first boot, and no real sliding doors moment, but maybe if Nick didn't win all the time, maybe something would have come up with that. Nick was saying he thought a lot about strategy. He had pages on his phone of notes, but then when he came in, he decided to just go with the flow and just like trust his gut. But it was a strategy to do well at challenges. He was running in the rain. He was starving himself before workouts. He cut out coffee for a week. As a Melburnian, I would have very much struggled with that. Is sliding doors moment. He says at the James boot, he threw a rogue vote on Sophie. I don't know how that's a sliding doors moment, but okay. And then Ma talks about the Bruce Lee quote of be like water. Water becomes whatever it's in. Talking about playing flexibility. And didn't disregard anyone's vote, no matter how hopeless their situation was. And then Mel kind of has a go at Ma because Ma is talking to the jury, and Mel's like, no, you talk to the person who's asking the question. Mel's not happy about that. Anna says, Sophie, you lied a lot. Did this help or hinder you? And Sophie says, I had to lie about the sacrifice, about the idol. But I did tell Nick, Ma, and Malcolm, it did cause distrust, but this is Survivor. You have to lie, cheat, and steal. And what I was saying before I got cut off is when you're playing that whole like, oh, I was really loyal to these people, it sounds like it's a really good thing, but it actually kind of pisses off people in the jury. It's like, well, why weren't you loyal to me? So I think people think that plays really well. It does not. So don't.
I was loyal to these people.
Michael.
Sorry, we got some
what was that? Sorry.
Being I was loyal to these people only works if you're seen as the most likely winner of that group, because then otherwise it makes no sense.
Yeah. Michael says, like John, game awareness is something that's really important to me. So tell me where the others lacked in their game awareness. Ma says the three of us were really tight, but I was hearing all the information. I had a lot of other options outside of these two, which I think is a really good answer. Nick says, I don't understand what he's trying to say here. He struggled to come up with an answer, and I don't fully understand what he's saying. My notes say perception of sticking loyal to allies. But I think he's basically saying Sophie was too loyal to him, and that whenever he heard his name was coming up, he heard about it, which we know isn't true because he had no idea that Ma and Michael were trying to get him out. And Sophie says that Nick didn't tell us about his idol. These two have both voted for me and didn't tell me. Again, I'm not sure why that's saying that they're bad at game awareness.
Her game awareness was bad.
Yeah. So then they do a closing statement. Sophie says that she prides herself on her social game, and that she crewed season 1, and she had to be really careful that nobody clocked that she knew everyone on the crew. Nick says, he's doing a little bit of asking. He goes, look, I've loved getting to know all of you. He's strategically, I've made moves. I threw rogue votes. Socially, got to know everyone and showed some loyalty. He's like, challenges, I won a couple here and there. He's trying to be humble, but it's like, come on, dude. And he's like, but that came from my preparation. And then Ma says, I've played one of these before and I didn't do well. The friendships you make, I hope that we have them here, the same ones I've had from Melbourne. John and I are actually really good friends. We played together, and that it really broke her heart to have to vote him out. She's like, I voted correctly at every tribal except one. My name was never written down or even brought up because I was always an option and people knew that it would get back to me. I did try to get Nick out, but he won challenges. And then she has her quote of the wind blows in the same direction for everyone, but it's about how you set your sails. Or
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, all these
And-
quotes planned, they're very good.
Yeah. And then we get a 4-3 vote. Ma narrowly wins, so she gets Anna, John, Malcolm, and Michael's votes. And then Nick gets James, Joe, and Mel.
It's
Yeah.
She probably deserves a perfect game, to be honest. She deserves to be sitting there at the end with Sophie and Michael and get a perfect game, really. But which she might have done. But I understand why people voted for Nick.
Yeah.
Particularly the people that did vote for Nick. Obviously, Joe was not over Mars' betrayal. I think that's the main reason she voted for Nick. But it's an incredible game, an incredible performance. All these little quotes she has, she's obviously prepped them, and she just hits them at the right point. When she does the be like water thing, which she says earlier in the show, but then she brings up in the final trouble, Nick's just like nodding in agreement, like it's the fucking greatest thing he's ever heard of all time. Like this philosopher next to me has got like just amazing. Obviously, he's impressed, he's falling in love with her, but he's like loving it. It's like like don't do that next to the person who you're trying to beat. But anyway,
travel,
but she's just that good. Yeah, wow. She's just that good in everything that she's done, and absolutely deserves this win. I think it's a wholeheartedly deserved win. There's not been a game like it that's so dominant, to be so in control, to have no one come for you. It's unbelievable. And, we were amazed when we watched it in the real time, and I remain amazed. It's the sort of game that, everyone here probably wishes they could play, but probably couldn't. And, all the kudos to her for such a powerfully strong win.
Yeah, she's like the template for like the perfect game that you'd want to play.
Yeah.
Particularly as like a powerful woman, like that we know that Mari is. Like for she didn't ever play that way. She's played powerfully, but not dominantly. Like, you know what I mean? Like she wasn't dominating people. She dominating
knew how to not be dominant.
She knew how to handle them, exactly. And we know what a force of a woman that she is. So like she's incredible. I don't think there's anything I can fault in this game that she did.
No, she didn't make any mistakes. So that's it for our deep dive into Canberra, but the coverage is not over yet. Like always, we will have many episodes to cover the second best season as of the voting time. I think next week I'll have the deep dive with Ma, but she's certainly been lined up to talk about her amazing winning game. We will also have the tea party, guests still to be confirmed. And the special podcast, everyone that's been following this very closely knows that for the final five, the top five, we've had a special podcast. We had an interview with Keegan, the only 3-time player. We had an interview with Christy, who decided to play Sydney Survivor for some reason after winning Australian Survivor. We had the 3 returning first boots. And for this season, I will be getting on the panel the only 2-time players that have never been on the ORCA pod to talk about the experience of playing for a second time with Mars, Win, and John being there as well, the influence and benefits or negatives of playing a second time and what it's like as that experience. Can you guys tell me those 3 people that we've never had?
2-time players that have never been on the pod.
All Emily? 3 of them are relatable. Emily, yes.
You said all 3 of them are related.
No, all 3 of them are confirmed. They're going to be on.
Emily. Rosemary?
Yes.
Has Mitchell been on?
No, and Mitch. So these are the 3. And it's going to be great to get their perspectives because Emily went from winning under Tour de France rules to being the first boot. Rosemary got screwed basically the same way both times and had the same outcome. And Mitch was an early pre-merge boot and went on to be a pretty significant 6th place and major player in a very, very competitive game. So it's going to be fascinating to hear their perspectives when they've really run the gambit of, different experiences or the same thing happening in the case of Rosemary.
I love that. That'll be super interesting to listen to.
I'm sure they'll all have a great perspective on what it's like to play twice, which I think is a real factor for this season. So you've got all that to look forward to. Get your votes in. Obviously, the final thing with the crowning of the ORCA. Do we need to vote for this? Do I need to compile the Congress of the Orcas, or should I just hand it to James Wolfe? I'll get the vote.
I don't even know who I'm going to call for my 2 and my 3.
Yeah, Grace. Banfield. Banfield be Banfield. An amazing season. Great to cover. Thank you, Royce. I don't know if it's how long. I don't know what our longest show is for a deep dive, but this is going to be close. Clocking over 3.
Well, I think Warrandyte is probably our closest.
Warrandyte went for a while. See
what were you
I'm
and
not
Dani
there to rein you 2 in.
I don't know how we went longer with 2 people, but we did. Anyway, thank you for there's 2 people still here. Thank you to everyone that's been here live and stuck it out with us. Wow. Oh, it's Sophie. Sophie's.
Hi. Thank you so much.
You know
Sophie,
what, Sophie?
Okay.
If someone was talking about a season where I made the final for 3 hours, I certainly wouldn't leave either. So I love them.
She's got to be a lock for the tea party, surely. Purely just kicking around the whole time.
For the tea party.
You don't normally have finalists for the tea party. Normally, as a rule. Because the finalists get all the glory. We try to give the glory to the other people, the plebs.
The plebs.
No, they're never coming to the tea party because you're
like Dani and I who don't make the final.
I wasn't on the tea party for Sydney.
We weren't doing a tea party yet.
You didn't have a tea party then. What are you talking about?
Because we were doing it episode by episode. Oh, you mean when we did it in the countdown?
Was it a deep dive with Sydney?
Oh yeah. But
you're on the podcast.
So?
You don't need to do the tea party as well.
I'm not going to be on the tea party for Joseph.
Get Joseph on the tea party.
I'm not going to be on the tea party for playing with fire. I'll get other people on.
You're there anyway because you get everything organized for Annabelle. You appear.
I'll appear, but I won't be on the tea party. Anyway, that's all coming up.
Does someone else need to go to the tea party for the next season? Why Annabelle can't host the tea party for her own season?
Of course you can.
No one else can host the tea party but Annabelle.
Yeah. That we think. Anyway, you've got all that to look forward to, and I still never know how to end these things. So if you've got an idea in the comments of how I can end the podcast in a snappy way, I'd love to hear from you. Until then, we will see you next week as our coverage continues. Song. Oh, sorry, I wasn't ready for that. It's late and long. Where's the song? There we go.